Reminder, this is the season 2 premiere. Let's kick it off right and not talk over the intro, okay? Please, don't talk over the intro.
Can you please sit down? I'm trying to watch the program.
I think I might have spilled coffee directly on my crotch.
Oh, good.
Wonderful news.
I do love the drums in this.
I mean, it's great.
I used the drum kit from Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah, even though this whole intro is about me drowning in Hurricane Helene.
That's old news. That's like 10 hurricanes ago.
It's 8 earthquakes ago, actually.
Oh my
that.
God.
We had 8 earthquakes last weekend here.
Now, pay attention to the timing, because just this instant, the lane. Just this instant, I finished making a latte.
Perfect. Hello. Season 2, episode 1. Jackson White in the house. Jackson, thanks for being here. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Good to be here. I'm excited. That intro got me excited too, man. That was definitely interesting.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Andrea put that together for us. It's based on
made the music and the animation.
I heard you say you used the Spyro drum kit. Did I hear you correctly?
Well, yeah. So I composed the MIDI and I used the sound fonts. I sourced it from a various collection, and so I like to use the Spyro drum kits.
I didn't realize that Spyro was a cyberpunk FPS. Which is the vibe I got off that drum kit.
You can put them in anything.
I don't know this language, but that's okay.
I cheat. I use Epidemic Sound. Oh well. But I'm going to make us an intro. It's my turn.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, I will.
Nice.
I totally lack the skills, so I'll just critique it.
You listen.
Wait a minute.
We'll get someone to say it's interesting when we show your art project.
It is interesting.
I would think of all of us, the former concert promoter, if I understand correctly, would have the ability to put together an intro of some sort. This is madness.
Oh, damn! Oh, man, Matt must got a good memory. You must got a good that's way back in the day. That's how I first got going with stuff, is putting shows together and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Well,
no, I don't have the editing skills. I have to pick up the phone and make sales and stuff skills. And luckily we have stuff like StreamYard so that you can like pretend like you have editing skills.
Right. Hey, Jackson, could you introduce yourself a little? Because I know my channel probably doesn't know you and wants to know you, I'm sure. And he's funny, guys. He made me laugh today. I was watching his show, laughing a lot.
I appreciate it. But yes, I'm Jackson White. I'm a political commentator with the Young Turks, and I've been working in politics for several years now. Started in 2018 with a company called Politiscope, helping people to keep up with legislation, donate to campaigns. That's kind of how I got started. And now, in addition to TYT, I got my own channel on YouTube, Politics and Paper, and just been chugging along. Things have been going pretty well. I was on here with Matt. Like when was the last time we was on here together?
Many months ago, but
it's a blur. I don't think it was that long ago, but yeah.
It was a while. I was still in New Jersey because I'm back in St. Louis now.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the Batman.
It's a Majersey accent.
Yes, I'm a Jersey. Yes, you just got to get me going. You know what I'm saying? Say my E's and R's.
Oh, I liked it when you were talking. You sound sort of Jersey, and my stepdaughter grew up in South Jersey, and I used to live near New Jersey. So when I heard your accent, I'm like, "Damn, he sounds just like Denise."
Yeah, I've been out there for a while. I'm gonna be moving back too. I'm going back sometime. Yeah, sometime in the next like 6 months or so.
Where in New Jersey? Like
I don't know. Well, I was in North Jersey. The last place I was in was Hackensack. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm very familiar with
that.
Okay. I know that area so well.
Yeah.
What's a St. Louis thing that non-St. Louisans wouldn't know about?
Wouldn't know about? Well, the first thing that came to my mind is we have chips called Red Hot Riplets, and they're really good. I don't know.
Oof.
You may not have heard about those, but those are some good chips. They're spicy with a little bit of sweet tang to them.
Red
And
Hot
St. Louis
Woo.
is pretty diverse too. You know, like it's like Chicago's the main, city of the Midwest, the main beacon. St. Louis is about 5 hours south, and it's not quite as populated. There's not quite as much industry there, but it's actually really diverse in St.
Correct.
Louis. There's a lot going on.
What's
Oh
the
yeah,
pop-
yep, there we
Yeah.
go.
Do you
There
know
we
the
go.
population, Jackson? How many people?
Roughly 3 million, I believe.
Oh, it's a big city.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you include like the city and the suburbs. And all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bigger than Buffalo. I was trying to equate because I'm like 85 miles southwest of Buffalo, or southeast of Buffalo. So I was trying to equate is St. Louis maybe similar to Buffalo, where we had the wings.
Oh, I saw. Oh, we got Libby. What's up, Libby? We got Libby's. Libby's good people. Libby's always showing love. I saw somebody else say
Libby. Hi,
fried
Libby.
ravioli. We
Yeah,
definitely got some of that going on here too. Because St. Louis is pretty old.
I gotta
St.
try
St.
that.
Louis is pretty old.
St. Louis seems like the kind of town I would expect to see like a con artist in a straw hat.
What is this? Some about the name or just like utilization?
It's like Boston. It just seems like old timey enough that I would expect a traditional American con artist to set up shop there.
Well, I think you got some pretty good insight there because it is the show me state, so it's a lot of hustlers and hucksters here.
Nice.
It's a wicked mousetrap, right? Like, because I've driven through there a lot. Am I remembering this correctly? Isn't it like the interstate like runs right alongside like brick buildings and
Yeah. So like
It's
that,
like
you
starts-
may be thinking about like the downtown and towards the south side of St. Louis. And the south side is South St. Louis is the most diverse area, and that's where you see like the brick buildings that have been around since like the 1800s and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
I bet it is similar to Buffalo because Buffalo has such a Midwestern feel. I just imagine it. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to
Cool.
Buffalo once, but I was just driving through.
Oh yeah, you blinked and missed it. Ah shit. Were you
Yeah.
going to Canada?
No, I was picking up some furniture actually. Yeah, I
okay.
was picking up some furniture to bring it back, and it was a beautiful drive. But it was scary though because when I was going down the hills, the truck's brakes would like kind of give out a little bit. So it was like,
you're outside of Buffalo then.
no, outside of Buffalo.
Yeah, because the hills are outside of Buffalo.
Yeah.
I was
Now,
in.
I assume furniture is New Jersey code for Canadian hash.
That too. I got me
Picking
some
up
of that too. I got some of that
furniture.
going on too. Yeah, definitely.
I was in a missile manufacturing facility in Buffalo. It
I
was
thought you was about
former.
to say St. Louis.
No, in Buffalo, and they had a wind tunnel in there where we used to test race suits in this wind tunnel. And they're like, yeah, I think there's still some missiles around here, just parts. And I was like, are you kidding me? But they were like old crate boxes.
Was it part of Moog?
don't know.
MOOG? Moog? Okay, because
don't
Moog
know.
is a big employer here.
Maybe it was.
Okay,
but
and then we
I was
had a
like,
big
so is there missiles
deal.
in here? What the hell?
Holy oh, they might be. We had Nike
No
base
smoking is
around
coming.
not far.
Yeah.
Well, up there. I mean, I'm in the boonies now, but
Yeah,
oh yeah. Well, with my background tonight, I'm actually in the stars.
that's cool. I like the stars.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is, I do feel like I have to say it once a week now because people will come to our channels for our regular content, and then they get to Left Past 10 and they're
Can I
like,
say
what
it?
the hell is this? Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right.
So you might be new here. Can you hear me? Is this on?
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Hang on to
There's
your
a
pants.
chance that you're new. It's possible. It shouldn't be possible, but it is, unfortunately.
It happens.
And it's possible that normally you watch someone else's shows. This is currently the only show I'm doing, so. But some of these guys, they have some other shows going on. Letterhack has this whole thing that he pretends is this huge hit, this insensation, whatever it is, and he thinks that there's so many serious people that go, "Oh, Letterhack's interviewing Who's Letter Hack interviewing Crystal Ball? That's an inanimate object. Wow, great interview.
Sam Cedar talks about you.
Thank you.
That's true, Sam
Thanks.
Cedar. That's true.
I've heard many times.
Hyping him up, so he
Yeah.
thinks he's serious.
You know, Sam Cedar don't talk about me.
That's also true. When have I?
No.
We are on. I've been on the show, and I've still never been on Sam Cedar's show. So it's
And then
a lot of good this connection's getting me.
Those
But my
viewers come
point
here
is,
and get
though-
very upset because they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
did
they
Sam
come
Cedar
here and they
recommend
think,
this
"What
one?"
is this show?" Right? And this show is a very serious political commentary program, unlike Letterhack's usual stuff. Letterhack softball interviews. Hey, what's your favorite
Oh.
food? Oh, do you like ice cream? Oh,
I've never
you wanna
asked
come on
that.
my show again later? Oh, please. So this is a serious
do.
political commentary program where we talk about spicy chips
We draw conclusions.
and others.
And
so welcome.
pickles
Yes.
and
That's
peanut
true.
butter sandwiches. Yeah.
Facts.
Did you get
Get
any of that? Was it
I am
fun?
now hungry.
Oh,
After the
Andrea.
pickle and peanut butter sandwich thing.
Andrea got us all to eat pickle and peanut butter sandwiches. Have you ever tried that combination, Jackson? Pickle and
No,
peanut
you know,
butter
and
sandwich.
I can say I'm really not a picky eater. You know, like I can
Oh.
say that about myself, but that doesn't really sound like something I would enjoy. I would try it for sure, but it just seems
We would try
a
it
little
for sure.
unnecessary. Like it seems
Oh,
like a little
very
unnecessary, or
I
like
can assure you.
no, one of the it's either it's unnecessary or oh my god, I'm broke as shit right now.
I went
Yeah,
What I
that's-
gotta
no,
do.
you got it.
One of the
Like,
two.
what do I
know
have
right
laying
now.
around?
Yeah,
Both are
I need my
possible,
nutrients.
mutually exclusive.
It's funny.
I put
you-
potato chips on mine.
Are you going to do
That
one
made it
of
a little
your...
better.
Oops, sorry.
What do you
I don't know what.
say?
I want Jackson to do an impression for us tonight too.
Oh, who you want? You want Ron DeSantis, Mitch McConnell? Those are my two best.
Oh,
ones, or-
okay.
I want
Let's
DeSantis.
do Ron. Yeah, do a
Yeah.
Ron.
A
Let's
Ron
okay,
DeSantis.
yeah, I'll do the entry.
Yeah,
So,
because for Mitch McConnell, anyone can just stare at the screen.
Oh yeah,
that's
just
really
bob their
not
head,
all
just
that
stand their head, bob their head back and forth. Right.
All right, Governor DeSantis, now that you've just finished cleaning up from 2 consecutive hurricanes, could you please tell us what was your rationale for shit canning climate change from all of the records in your state?
Well, Kamala Harris needs to stop with the propaganda. She has nothing to do with this process whatsoever. She's just trying to go to tension so that she can pander to the voters.
That's really good.
I haven't done that in a while. I haven't done that one in a minute.
great. Oh my
That
God, I
is
love
good.
it. That
Mr.
was great.
DeSantis, could you answer this next question while eating this cup of pudding? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I need 4 fingers for this cup.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, I forgot all about him damn near shit until these until these hurricanes came. Wasn't that long ago where they were like, oh shit, he's gonna replace Trump, and no.
It was already a distant, awful memory.
Yeah. Hopefully Florida votes him out when it comes time.
Why was it that he was just recently sending people around to knock on doors? There were people who signed a petition or something. What
Like,
was it
did it have
for?
something to do with the abortion?
I think that's what
ballot
it was.
initiative?
I think that's what it was. And he had
Yeah.
people come and knock on their door and like ask them
the
why and
cops.
verify it. And yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with the ballot initiative. I don't remember exactly what it was, and but I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
That's hardcore,
Libertarians,
man.
I need you to get on board with us on this. That motherfucker needs to go to prison because he abused his authority to try to intimidate voters for exercising their rights. If you are sincerely libertarian out there, there's no way that's okay with you. There's just no way. We tossed away some of our own.
That's
We're
a
getting
fact.
rid of Eric Adams. Couldn't be happier.
Yes, yes.
Bob Menendez.
God.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, we can
Gold
sing
Bar
now.
Menendez.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Gold Bar.
House. Him, I can't, but they're still arresting people in Eric Adams' administration.
Yeah.
He went from gold bars to steel bars real quick, and I have
real
no
quick.
regrets.
And that's
You
a
guys
bar
gotta
right
do the
there
same
that
thing.
You just spit.
Olemi,
right
she
there.
was so right when she was right spot
Yes.
on about him and her
Oh my
interview
God,
and
yes.
all
To
of
his
that.
face.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Breakfast
yeah, I do
Club.
remember
Oh,
that.
I watched
Yeah.
that. That was
Yeah.
good.
I
She's-
forgot.
That might
it
have been
all-
my. Look, this is a year in which Donald Trump said that Haitians are eating dogs on stage. And that still might have been my favorite moment of politics for this whole year is Eric Adams live with I keep calling her Laura Nadi because I just see the channel name.
Yeah.
And she's tearing him to bits. Oh, it was amazing.
What I want to know is because he immediately following that interview on the Breakfast Club, he went and got baptized. Al Sharpton baptized him in a church, like
Are you
within
serious?
the same day. I
Al
want to know
Sharpton, fuck off.
if he had that
Eric
planned
Adams?
beforehand. Yeah, I want to know if he had that planned already, or if he got on the phone and was like, "I
Emergency.
need some publicity right now."
Oh my
Andre
God.
said emergency. I need a baptism right goddamn now.
I
had a
don't
video
know
bad.
why he even ran. Well, he's a conservative, but he really shouldn't have run on the Democratic ticket.
He kind of
But-
snuck in there, it seems like, because right
Yeah.
after COVID, everybody was discombobulated, and
God
he just
damn.
kind of
Yeah.
snuck in there because he's like cartoonishly corrupt. And no,
Yes, cartoonishly corrupt, and his whole staff. You're right. Oh my God.
and again, you
Boy,
get
I've
baptized
known
in your
Al
60s.
Sharpton long
In your
time.
60s, you get baptized. My
it's never
man's
too
found
late.
Jesus at age 62.
Mm-mm.
He said,
It just seemed like it's
I
he
didn't
is-
know that. Matt.
cartoonish
So
is a good
thank
way
you
to put
for
it.
letting us know. No, but the funniest part about that to me were the Turkish officials souping his head up, talking about you're going to be president one day. Like, bro, first of all, there's no way that they really believe that, but but he believed it. He
Oh,
believed it.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
So what did
Uh,
Bob Melendez? What was his deal? What were the
They
secrets
found
he was
gold
selling the Egyptians?
bars in his house.
Yeah, but
where did
what
he
was
get
he
those
selling
from?
the Egyptians? What was he selling the Egyptians?
Oh, I don't know.
I truly. Oh, go ahead.
So
I
two
was just going to
criminals.
say, I don't access. I mean, typically it's just about access at the end of the day. But
Sure.
I have a theory about Bob Menendez. My first theory about Bob Menendez is he got a younger hot woman to come into his life, and he lost his damn mind. And he just couldn't handle the shit. Because also too with her, she got off I think she ran somebody over and got off with it, which is unrelated. And I'm kind of just joking right now in terms of like him getting whipped up. But maybe that has something to do with it. But also, it's just like the federal system, the whole political system is so corrupt. Like you don't need to do under the table shit. Like you really don't need to. You could just take money from corporations in the open. You don't got to take gold.
There's
bars,
a
man.
legal way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
silly.
why break the
Just
law?
run a campaign.
Exactly. Why break the law?
Literally.
That's the you've touched on what I find so galling about Menendez specifically is that it's unnecessary. Like are you trying to enrich yourself through the office? Okay, just do the things everybody else does.
Yeah, he could have asked Nancy Pelosi for some investment advice.
You got $1,000? No
Yep.
one's stopping you from putting on the stock market for stocks that you know are going to have favorable votes coming their way soon. Like
It's
just-
greed.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's laziness.
if you want to
And-
seduce
yes,
somebody,
laziness.
Oh, a lazy criminal.
seduce a
Yeah.
weapons manufacturer, marry them, and then get all the insider trading tips, give it to them, make sure they get all the. There's a legal way to bank
There's
off
so
this.
right.
stuff.
There's so many
Yes.
paths, and especially you got to
How
consider
sad.
too. Like if you make it to be senator, you're kind of stuck there unless people fucking hate you because your elections every 6 years, and the Senate really doesn't
Santos.
do shit.
George
Like, they
Santos.
really-
Oh,
You know,
they
so like
do, but
it's
Yes.
well they have
they exist to make trouble.
Yes.
To be,
Well,
to
they-
be stick in the muds. Yeah.
yes that's their purpose.
Those
But-
people
but
supported insurrection, and they're still there. And I mean, do you think Ted Cruz is going to lose his election?
Oh, I'd love
Yeah,
to
I hope
know.
so.
I would love that.
would be great.
I don't know how anybody can vote for him, but then we're not in his district in Texas.
I think he has a chance, a good chance in terms of out of all the elections that he's ran. And the thing with him is, as you pointed out, Sandy, he's generally unpopular. Republicans really don't like him. He's just a very unlikable person in general. He's a
Yeah.
smarmy little weasel.
He's unpopular with
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah,
Right, exactly,
How does
exactly.
Nobody
anybody
likes it.
respect a man who let his wife be insulted by Donald Trump, and then he turns out to be, a big Trump ass licking toady? It's just awful. But
pull up the phone banking picture. That is a legendary picture.
Yes.
It says so much,
that's
man.
right. No
That is a
district.
legendary picture. Yes.
But there's wait. I have to answer somebody in the state. He has no district. Okay, but he has to be elected in that part of the state. I mean, there's senators that represent you in your state. So how anybody in his part of the state can vote for him, I don't know. So I corrected myself.
That is the saddest picture ever. And his face says how he really feels. And he goes through drastic lengths to not feel.
I remember when Pence was on the ticket. What happened to that guy?
Oh yeah.
Hang Mike Pence.
Afraid
Shit
for
is
his life.
crazy. They said there's something. He was like, so what? So now they're trying to get, he's like, who gives a shit? Donald Trump is one of a kind, man. He really is. Like he just I'm pretty confident he's gonna lose at this point, especially looking at early voting data, early voting data, and just the polls.
Has anyone voted yet?
No, not yet. Here we
have
have
out of us.
October 26th.
I'm voting early. I am voting early though. I'm
Me
doing
too.
an absentee ballot. Obviously things could technically go either way, but the reason I'm confident that he's going to lose is because his time just seems to be over. He's done nothing to genuinely expand his base. Polling really hasn't been worth a damn for 10 years. And there's ways to properly read the polls, but whoever figures this shit out is going to make a fortune because every cycle there's
John from San Antonio.
every cycle there's something different to factor in. Like in 2016, there was that hidden Trump vote. In 2020, it was there too. Now that's really gone. Then you have the reversal of Roe decision. So people get undercounted the woman vote for that. Then you have people who are newly registered who don't get counted in the polls. So it's not to say that they don't mean anything, but when polls have been consistently off by like 5, 6, 7 points, then to the public, it's kind of just like a pseudoscience at this point. So any of y'all in the audience, if y'all can figure out the math and the sampling, you're going to make a lot of damn money.
Go to Race to the White House.
But I was going to say, lastly, at the end of the day, all this shit really is about is getting people registered to vote and then getting them to go to the polls. That's really all it's about.
In the primaries.
And from what I've seen, Georgia on first day voting, over 300,000 votes. In Pennsylvania, Democrats are outvoting Republicans by 300%, which is more than 2020 when everything was shut down. So it just seems like it's not necessarily that Kamala's beloved, but Trump's time is just done. That doesn't mean he can't still win, but if there's any indication that people are going to vote, then the early voting numbers look good. And at the end of the day, when people show up to the polls, Republicans lose the presidency. So let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I mean the new like gimmick is to say, oh, the Republicans are doing great and the Democrats are doing terrible, and then after the election, it's like, oh, the Democrats did pretty good. So I feel like it's gimmicky. But Jackson, just when you have time, check out Logan Phillips, racetothewhitehouse.com. It's racetothewh.com. He was on my show last night for the first 30 minutes. He is a poll aggregator, so he takes all the polls, runs them through his model like 50,000 times or something.
Yeah.
In 2022, he was the top forecaster. He missed like 2 or 3 races out of all the ones that he was forecasting. So he nailed the majority of them. So
I'm gonna check that guy out. I'm gonna check that out because again, it's these issues are fixable, but there just seemed to have been, especially since 2016, a consistent just inaccuracy, so that you got to look at other stuff. Like now when you look back, it makes sense that Hillary lost because of how she campaigned, in addition to her not being generally well liked. Her brand was kind of old, and the way she campaigned, she didn't spend enough time in Wisconsin and Michigan and key states. Trump's doing the same shit. My man's is in California, New York, Colorado, Illinois. You ain't gonna win none of those states, man. Yeah, I mean, you could get, even if you get a few million extra votes, it's an electoral college system, so it doesn't matter. So again, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my hopium is that U.S. politics, because of the correct pessimism, I think, of the all of us, is it's an anti-race every time. You're running against someone, not for someone. And the hopium I have is that people genuinely hate Donald Trump, and rightly so. Whereas the people who are against Kamala are it's Democrats they don't like, but not specifically Kamala Harris. That's my feeling. It's my hope anyway.
Yeah,
I don't see people like, "Ooh, she makes me angry," you know?
And yeah, just we've been watching Trump for 9 years, so there's no new tricks. There's nothing new he's gonna do, and
We're not even shocked by being shocked by him.
Yeah, like
yeah,
we're
but
just
what's dangerous is that they've got JD Vance and the tech bro fascist oligarchs waiting. You know that I found out that Vance and his ilk are buying all the farmland. So all the conspiracy theorists that say Bill Gates is buying all the farmland, that's bull. It's not true. He bought that 200,000 acres, whatever it was. No, Vance and those dudes are buying the farmland in the United States.
Well, that's cool because
there's a lot of
they're on their
shade.
team, and of course Elon Musk, who's
These are
like at
from
least
all
on paper
over.
the wealthiest man in the world, not actually, but on
Yeah.
paper.
God,
He is.
what an
That's
idiot.
totally cool. It's totally
It's
cool to have
not
him give all
cool.
the money. Well, to them,
Not the farmland. Not the
No, but
farmland,
that's
it isn't.
what Jack's saying is like they're forgiving him
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's arbitrary and they don't actually
Yeah.
have beliefs. Yeah. I added in too
True.
much at the end there, but you know.
Oh, you did not.
legendary though, the picture of Elon jumping for joy and Trump looking like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Absolutely legendary.
What a weird little gremlin.
They don't do
Yeah.
anything normal, man. They are so weird. I wish the Harris campaign had stuck with that rhetoric, calling them weird, because that really hurt them. It exposed
they're gonna
them,
go
and
back to
they appeared very fragile. They could
Trump
not
is
handle it.
still like he's still crying like during his concert the other day. Like one of the very few times he spoke, he was like, "My crowds, no one's leaving. They would never leave."
Oh yeah, right. Like as he
couldn't leave.
watches people leave out, he's like, this doesn't happen. You
It's
know
not
what I mean? He's
happening.
like, whenever people leave, I just what does he say? He's like, when people leave, I just wrap it up right there, or something like that. He says.
You
And
gotta leave on a high note.
Jake, when what you mentioned earlier, I just come to mind about how basically the highlight of this campaign is they're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
But you know what though? That
God.
is the highlight of the campaign in a lot of ways. And the fact that Donald Trump, I mean, if he did a second debate, he wouldn't do any better because he's an idiot. And more importantly, he's lazy. He's lazy. Like,
he's lazy. Now he dances for 40 minutes, but he doesn't dance. He goes back and forth.
It would be the same damn thing, though.
Truly
Yes, exactly.
a very character. We live in absurd times. I mean, just bizarro world.
We do.
Why, in your opinion, was that the highlight?
Well, I think it's going to stand out as one of the highlights. Like as time progresses and we look back at this campaign, that's going to be like one of the most memorable moments because it was.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I think it sums up who they were in this moment. Who were the Republicans in this moment? A group of people willing to support somebody saying that.
Yeah. And might I say, you know, since you know we on the left here, there's so much opportunity going forward, man. Because look, even outside of federally, one of the things I've been really realizing is I've just grown up a little more and been more involved in politics. It's how much we really can get done on the local and state level because politics is happening consistently. Looking at these city councils, these mayoral races, the sheriffs that get voted for, the defense attorneys, all of this stuff that shapes our daily lives. Programs that can get started up. For instance, in St. Louis, where I was born and raised, the county is called University City that I grew up in. And anybody who goes to public school, as you proceed through the end of high school, if you do well, if you participate in extracurricular activities, then you have a college savings account. And by the time you graduate high school, you can have $500 in college savings because studies show if you have at least that, then you're more likely to finish. And that gets paid for with like parking tickets and meters and stuff. And things like this can and do happen, like universal basic income. We see information about stuff like that succeeding in Washington State and places like that.
There's a lot to do, but we won't be able to do it. if it's red. And we have to. I mean, there's so many things that I want to do post this election. If Kamala gets in, like join
Like take a
Code
nap,
Pink,
for
like
example.
join Code Pink and fight against
Yeah.
this war and that, and more of the local stuff, but mainly push her to stop this already. I mean,
Yeah.
Biden says, okay, we're whatever 30 days. Come on. He should have done it
coincidentally, right after the
now.
election. Yeah.
Right, when he's gone. Yeah.
Right. No, now. But
Yeah.
And I
they
think
wanna-
that'll
they
be her
wanna win
weakest
on-
issue for sure.
It
out
is
of
her
everything.
weakest
Oh,
issue.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
her weakest
it'll be her weak.
However,
and it'll be her weakest.
we will make it her strongest.
And I was gonna say that's where we come in, as you're pointing out, us,
Absolutely.
pushing the needle, taking responsibility, but also too, it's not just her weakest issue. This is one of America's weakest issues
Yep.
as a whole. Just because the
The
entity,
military economy. Yeah.
If it happens overseas, it doesn't happen in the eyes of America. We got to change that.
yeah,
Also,
Yeah.
I think, assuming we can survive this election, put a Democrat in the White House, I think it's time to start taking over or replacing or both the Democratic Party.
Oh, yeah.
We need
yeah.
a Labor Party big time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Look,
Everything
here's
is the way. I am convinced that's the only way anything's ever going to get done on climate.
And it's
is
time.
International socialism.
What's the name? What's the woman's name who was wheeled in? I don't know why. She was the Democrat. She passed away recently. She was wheeled in to do a vote.
Feinstein.
Yes,
Fine.
Feinstein.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Right.
I was going to
And
say
you-
that as a joke earlier, but no, that was actually.
No, y'all remember
Right.
from SpongeBob I remember when they invented chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seriously though, I was just pointing that out to say that the generational tides are turning. So there's just more
Mhm.
opportunity by default. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Sandy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I watched the interview from I think 5 months ago between Bernie and AOC. I don't know if you've seen it. It was on his channel. It was really good.
5 months ago is like
I know, but I watched it today. It was very good. I really
months ago
learned
is
a
like
lot
2 years
about
ago.
her. But if she can do what she did in the Bronx and win against Joe Crowley,
hell
I mean,
yeah.
but just the way that interview went, he let her talk and she really shined. And it was like, holy shit, pretty good.
I've been
Pretty
saying
good.
since she won, because the night she won, I was like, oh, great. Now everyone's going to treat her like some sort of like celebrity. Really, the only thing that mattered from that election was that they didn't need corporate money, funding.
right.
They did it with grassroots.
Right.
That was like the one thing we should have all taken away from that. And it was just
Money
kind
out
of
of
like everyone's like, oh, she's such a letdown. It's like, man, fuck the candidate. Look at how it worked. Like
Right.
anyone
Yeah.
can do this if
Grassroots.
you want. But what I was going to say was just one thing about labor that I've been thinking about a lot. Every time you watch an interview, like there was that Fox interview with Kamala Harris this afternoon, and Brett Barr is saying like 50% of the country is voting for Donald Trump. That's not 50% of the country.
It's like 20, 30%.
Not even
maybe.
really. They want us to believe there's this 50-50 split and that the
Yeah.
country is 50% of this and 50% of that. And what it actually is 100% labor. It's 100% workers.
Good point.
I'll be generous and say 95. Still, there's more of us than them. And we cannot let these mainstream media figures or politicians define what makes the US this or that. We constantly say it's us and them. Well, if you're with them, they call themselves us and they call us them. There is no us and them. It's us 100%. And the only people who are creating the division are the people who supposedly are running the country and handling the media. And it's all bullshit. It's not 50-50. It's 100%. That's how we need to start looking at this. Don't
I
let
would
them
argue
divide us.
It's a chicken or the egg situation because, let's imagine we get rid of the guys who are programming the population to hate each other. Like, it's not like the Trumpers are going to, say,
There's
oh,
gonna
shit,
be-
you got him.
yeah.
I'm
Right.
deprogrammed
Then
now.
they'll be the minority, the racists and the bigots. It's not like Trump made the country racist. He just made it comfortable for them to come out into the open. So Let's caulk up
And
the
it's out
seams
there.
so they can't go back, and we will expose them and keep them in sunlight, and they will feel very awkward, right?
You know, this
And
has
Yeah.
been
I
like
hope.
in like just the since the inception of the United States, it's and really if you look at any society that lasts for I guess maybe over 100 years or so, there's always uh a countercultural movement to cultural advancement. You know what I'm saying? So you rewind back and you go back further, you go back to like slavery and emancipation and stuff, and then you get into segregation, and then you get into getting the red tape out, you know, letting women have some money and some freedom and shit like that, moving past. And now, you know, really all this MAGA shit really is a counterculture movement to women having money and gay people and trans people being able to exist openly. That's really what it is. And you know, the good thing overall is that they have lost the culture war. The bad thing is that, well, I don't know if it's bad, but the important thing is that we just have to get more involved. I think that one of the things that America is missing, among other things, is people aren't educated about how our government works.
True.
And because of that, we don't feel like we can participate in it, which makes us feel like we are not the government. We are the government. Literally, all government is groups of people at the end of the day. So I think that if people just knew a little more about, oh, not only can I vote here, I can participate in these different types of functions, then I think
Well, they got to learn physics in school.
yeah,
I mean,
we got to learn. We
civics,
got to
not
learn a lot of
physics,
shit.
not
But I think
physics,
that's where we come in.
civics.
That's where people like us
Yeah,
come in.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
No,
That's where
but
people like
There's
us come in.
surrogate education.
And Sandy,
Well,
what you
yeah.
said is so true though. Like, how many classes did you go to in school where I'm not even dunking on the classes, but like I have never once done trigonometry in my life, but I could have used an extra civics class for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah, I mean, so, you
That's
know,
so
and how
that's
many people look at just real quick, like how many people think, you know, every 4 years, at the end of the day, like really all the president's main job is to keep the country stable and safe. That's mainly what the president does. But every
Yeah.
4 years, it's like, okay, this person's we have an opportunity to just change everything. And it doesn't work that way. Whereas if we, you know, we're more keen to all the stuff that happens right in our backyards, then
Mm-hmm. No, I've been there, or
yeah.
I try to, as much as I can.
Collection of the president will either say yes or no. Their main function is say yes or no to a bill that gets put forward. So we need to focus on the people who are passing the bills. And that's it truly does start locally. Also, it's harder for the giant corporations to gatekeep locally. They have a hell of a time throwing money at like a sheriff's office race because they don't even know they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
It's also difficult when it's very red and people are so brainwashed where you live and you can't get any kind of diversity on the tickets. Everybody is the same.
If it's red in your district, it is more likely than not to be a less populated district,
Of
which
course.
means going from door to door is going to be more effective. You have an
Yeah.
opportunity to explain to people why you will help them. And the advantage lefties always have over everybody else is we're actually trying to help. So we
Yeah.
don't have to lie.
There's
Yeah.
been people I've been talking to who've been doing this and going in New York and Pennsylvania, going from
Hell
New
yeah.
York to Pennsylvania. So
Beautiful.
a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
I
going
think,
on here.
and another thing I think that the left can do a better job of, especially moving forward, is let's make some money.
That is,
Man,
I mean,
make some money because ain't shit free. And I mean, just real shit, man. Like, especially people who are not necessarily, you know, like it's different if you're running for office and you take corporate dollars. That's a bit different. But if you're more on the outside, you know, make some money so we can spend it on shit. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
we need to
Good on
fund
you.
campaigns. We need to fund narratives, messaging. I think that there's a bit too much emphasis on anti-success and anti-corporate America when we can just utilize them. Let's just use
On a
them.
One
related
thing
note,
that we
Or
need
how
is
about get
we
rid of
need
it?
the
Get
we need
rid
a
of
timing's important
closed
here.
economic system on the left because the right, what they have is they have the billionaires fund these elections, and then the candidates, and then they give tax cuts for the billionaires, so then they make the money back, and it's a closed circuit.
It's
Very
Democratic
quickly.
consultants make a lot of go on, Jake.
Sorry, I'm so
You're
sorry.
right,
The
Andrea.
timing's just too good. A longtime channel
Circular.
member of mine meant for me to pass something along to you, Jackson
Oh.
White. The anti-corporatist says hello.
Oh,
He's a
what's
fan
good?
of yours.
Yeah, anti-corporatist. Yeah,
It's
I
good
know the
timing.
anti-corporatist. Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
hey, awesome.
Well, I also
Andrea,
am an
please continue.
anti-corporatist, so shout
Oh,
outs to
yes?
the one and only
But I
anti-corporatist.
think this
He
is
is
a
the one
good
and only.
conversation because we need more money, and there's so many different ways to.
But yeah, we also need like the Democratic ad firms, like who funds them? Democratic campaigners, they have a closed circuit. They're all sloshing the money back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so what we need is we need to create the institutions for people to spend the money on, right? So, you need a left-wing person in media, and if they're going to take advertising dollars, they need to be from left-wing companies that are funding other things, and we need to create a larger and more closed circuit. We can't allow our dollars to leak out of the economy, into
Good
the
on you.
general or right-wing economic spheres.
I wish we
On that
didn't have
note-
that at all. I mean, I really wish that Citizens United was overturned and that all money was out of politics. Elections were just a few weeks long, publicly funded, basic money, no lobbying.
Yeah, what
but
would
of course
they-
that's hopium and
How would elections look? Let's be as extreme as possible in this
right.
example. How would elections look, and what kind of candidates would you have if you weren't allowed to raise or spend more than $10?
$10?
Yeah.
That
I
doesn't
mean,
make any
like per person.
I
to,
know.
like,
I said
limit,
let's
like,
be extreme in the
All right.
example. What would you have?
So hold on. You
You'd
saying
have
that?
dedicated people that
It's
really
the same as saying,
give a
okay,
shit.
so that's the same as
No,
saying
I'm trying
no
to
money, I
clarify.
guess.
Are you saying
Yeah,
that
clarify,
like
please.
I can only give you $10, or as a candidate I can only accumulate $10?
Yeah, $10. That's what you got to run off.
So it's basically zero is the thing.
Sure. So
all right.
let's say 10,000.
Goodbye, a hoagie.
All right, 10,000 is more. You can get a lot of volunteers to make things.
Would you
know,
have these?
Here they're painting rocks. They're painting rocks here.
But like,
know,
look, here's my point.
art.
No, I'm into
When
doing this.
there's no limit, you can have things like Citizens United. If there was a limit, Citizens United wouldn't be a thing. You wouldn't outside dark money. That would be so minimal. It would just be
Right.
pointless.
Okay.
How do we
It
even
would-
go about really solving this though? This is such a
Right,
good
that's what
conversation.
I'm
It's
saying,
like,
like-
where
Yeah,
do we
it's a
even
big one.
begin?
I
Where
have
do
an
we even
exact
begin?
prescription.
You have to
Some-
make it so
What's
that
up,
there's
Jake?
no sense in buying off a politician.
Right.
Then you
So,
would
yeah.
have politicians who weren't bought off, or I mean, maybe I don't know. There's other ways to buy them off. I guess.
Ideally.
What you got? What you thinking?
The
Jake?
short version. All right. I want to answer the hypothetical, and I'll get to that. To answer your question, how do we make it happen? Constitutional amendment. We would need a coalition between the far left and, hold on to your butts, the far right, who would, it seems, be willing to work with us to pass this amendment. It would get rid of the Buckley versus Vallejo and Citizens United decisions. It's doable. Constitutional amendment is the most likely way to make that happen. Otherwise, we would need a series of smaller Supreme Court decisions. For the $10,000, or F it, let's go to the $10 one, because I like working in the extremes. How would you do a campaign with no money? Volunteers
That's
would
what I'm
have to literally be volunteering their time. I think that's worthy of note. The downside to that I see is poor people would have a harder time being volunteers, but it's better than what we currently have. And they would need to rely on debates for mass messaging. I think that's also a good thing. They'd have to go to local news stations and do interviews, and they would get free media that way.
I'm
Good.
trying to reverse engineer movements that provide leaders versus a movement around a leader. I don't know where these
Right.
politicians
There you
come from
go.
most of the time. They're like born and bred. They're put into a system. They show
I
up
like it.
one day with
Not now.
donors and a poster, and this is what I'm running for. And then we have to decide which one is least crappy. Instead,
Come
I
on.
want real community movements that grow and expand. And then we all point to one guy and go, hey, you should be the leader. And he's like, no, not me. And we go, no, definitely you. Too late.
Well, now
You printed the
that you just made a
t-shirts.
case for yourself.
Here
Yeah.
we go. But you see what I'm saying? It's like that's how you do it.
I think that like when I think about stuff like this, the ultimate answer that I always arrive to is this is my responsibility in one form or fashion. Because if collectively we don't feel like all of us have a part to play in it, then we're just looking for somebody else who may only come around once in a generation as the stars align perfectly. Because like for instance, like if you look at someone like Bernie Sanders, who kind of has like a generational magic touch with the general populace in terms of how he relates to kind of our everyday struggles, where we come from, the plight of the working man and woman. He lived a life that reflected that he's not a self-centered, ambitious person. He managed to become a senator without being a self-centered and very ambitious person. He's better than me in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a lot of people like that.
And there are, but what I've come to find, well, not like I've discovered this, but good people, the positions of power more so than not attract people who want power and who, more so than not, that's who it attracts. And I just, that's why this is, I like Jake, as you were pointing out, a constitutional amendment, because otherwise, like, I mean, how can any of this shit really change? If we don't get some type of a constitutional amendment, then it's all about money.
Yeah. Well, there's the group Move to Amend has been around for a long time, and they have a whole charter on their in their group on their website. They've got thousands of members, and they have a formula.
So how long does it take? Because I was just thinking that idea is kind of getting old. Like, how come it hasn't happened? How long does it take?
How come? Look at what we're up against.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Realistically, like, check me, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, well, that idea is pretty old. How come we haven't had it? I don't want to be cynical. How come we haven't had it? Does it take a while? Does it take 15? Has somebody done that math?
Yeah, it takes a while.
We need enough radicals. And again, this is another hold on to your butts. Enough radicals, either right or left, in the House and the Senate. And we need to be able. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about MAGA is that they're too crazy for a lot of the big businesses to donate to them. Like, nobody wants to donate to Matt Gaetz, nor should they, because he's a fucking diddler. But the other side of that is they get to be faux populist about it. So, okay, we say, great, I don't like you. I hope you go to prison soon. I'm going to try to put you there. But in the meantime, let's vote on this thing together, because we sincerely don't like big money in politics. So the answer, how long does it take? We need an election wherein the votes are there. Like, so in that case, the answer is close to overnight. Or we need to turn the elected people we have to that cause with a mass write-in campaign.
We need a lot of organizing. We need so much organizing, because we also need massively influential people. But again, I think that the silver lining is we don't have to figure all this shit out right now. You know what I mean? I think that going forward, and just when you look at change, typically happens slowly. I mean, shit, goddamn, in 1973, Roe v. Wade happened. 52 years later, these sons of bitches reversed it. So it's a never-ending fight. It's a never-ending battle. But from what I can tell, people typically rise to the challenge in society. That doesn't mean that we can't blow ourselves away, but typically I have faith in humanity overall. Because if we don't take care enough, then we're not going to last.
Well, we're not going to last, but you don't want me to go into my tirade.
We need balance. Again, we need balance. So I guess I have faith. Sandy doesn't have faith. It's good. We balance each other out.
I'm going to focus on one impossible thing that seems to not be impossible anymore this whole next year, and that's unionizing in the South.
Yes.
I'm in the South.
Yes.
Might as well make the best of it, right? And if they're trying to unionize down here, I want to cover it. I want to support it. that's how I'm going to spend 2025, because I believe labor picks up where Congress and government drops off, where they fail us. I think labor can deliver. So if they can unionize in the South, man, they can unionize anywhere. Like, that's
I'm glad you said that too, because we don't necessarily have to go after everything at the same time. Some people need to focus on labor, other people need to focus on healthcare, instead of necessarily like, oh, it's time for run for president, so we gonna give you motherfuckers Medicare for all and this and that and that and this, and that it doesn't sell that well, not because people don't want the policies, but because after a while it's like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to do all of these things, which is why local and state politics is so important, because we can improve labor, we can improve healthcare. Here in Missouri, where I'm at now, recently they voted to expand Medicaid. Deep red Missouri, on the ballot measure, they voted to expand Medicaid. So, and as you pointed out, Jake, and Matt, pretty much all of us are pro labor, especially when we're involved in the process. So I think I'm glad that you pointed out focusing on labor in the South, because that brought up Medicaid expansion here in Missouri. We just got to be. This is a big ass country, man. This is a big country, and we gotta get a little more focused, but we can do it.
Question for the panel: any thoughts on community regenerative? Thanks for making me say my least favorite word. Gardening and farming. And so this is like, Sandy, do you know this is like protecting habitats and conserving water, right?
Yes,
my wife is big on this.
And I'm big on it because I think it's one of the only things we can really do that's going to make any kind of difference in the big picture. It's local regenerative farming, going back to rewilding areas, trying to stop building. I have this whole thing since the hurricane that it would really be nice if Florida did not rebuild anywhere and put in mangroves and put in all kinds of vegetations that
just
would
get rid of Florida. I agree.
Well, I mean, at least help the sea level rise, help with these things, and don't rebuild there, and stop with the concrete. But I'm radical because I'm Jackson, they call me a doomer. But the big picture, I look at everything that's going on with the science of climate and environment and overshoot, and we have overshot. So we have to do that. And if there's something we could do, it's going to have to be with the environment.
Now, what if you put all that time and effort into that land, and then someone's like, hey, we got to put solar panels right here? That's a conflict of interest, right?
That's a big one.
What a good problem to have.
But it's not a good problem because it takes all the farmland. The problem is it should be nationalized, and any kind of renewable energy should be on your house, on the building, not taking any of the wild lands like Thacker Pass in Nevada, the desert, which people say is nothing. No, that's not right. Everything should have been done differently.
Colorado did it so smart. You could put solar panels on your house and roll the cost into your mortgage. So when you sell the house, you sell that.
There you go.
That money, that cost. And it was just like brilliant. And so it's funny because in South Carolina, you would think like nobody would be into that kind of stuff. All the houses in my neighborhood have solar panels.
My goal for next election season is to get solar panel manufacturers funding far left progressives by making a bill be talked about that is to put solar panels at the cost of the government on every building whose owner requests it.
Nationalizing
it's big contracts with shit like that too.
There's another thing, and that's how they manufacture them, because the mining is a big problem also. I know we can't have everything, but I have significant issues with how renewables are manufactured.
No one else
and
is
I
making
know
this pitch.
technology, of course, is going to move on because we can't stop the tech bros, the tech people, but we really have to watch the environment. We've destroyed it enough.
This reminds me of I can't recall the scientist's name, but if y'all remember, lead used to be in goddamn everything.
Oh right, yeah.
Lead was in paint. Lead was in
buildings, they took it out.
And they took it out because people rallied and advocated for it for years. and they won.
Yeah.
Eventually, they won. They won that battle, and it was the same thing that you look at with big oil companies now. The people who manufactured lead and built stuff with lead, they knew it was poisonous. People have known lead is poisonous for thousands of years. That shit ain't nothing new. The Greeks and the Romans knew that shit was poisonous.
What
Corporations?
corporations?
Thomas Migley Jr.
Thomas Migley Jr.
Corporations have us living in these twisted social and ecological environments as a result of their industry, and it's all for profit. And that's why they're against regulation, and that's why they're against,
of course,
policy that would regulate. And so anyway, it's just like they create these environments where people are suffering and dying as a result. They can easily have plausible deniability. Meanwhile, lawmakers are like, crime is bad and it's really bad over here, and they never look at the effects or like the source and the cause, and it's all just, they want to talk about trickle down economics, but it's just trickle down bullshit. That's all it is. That's the only thing that trickles down.
And they've been trying to sell that dream since Ronald Reagan was older than that. But in terms of modern times, since Ronald Reagan was in office,
it was Ronald Reagan and Margaret
they've been singing the same song for over 40 years. And instead of changing their tune, they like, nah, fuck all this democracy bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, fuck all this we the people nonsense.
Neoliberalism, neoliberal economics has been the actual near-term human extinction event.
Well, perhaps we finally
put some positive spin on this.
Necro.
Oh, you got a positive
one good
spin?
thing. Yeah, about this era is that one way or another, neoliberalism is ending. Either we're going to vote it out, or
crash, collapse.
It's going to die young too.
This is fascism now.
And I was I was just thinking, kind of, we're moving out of the Reagan Clinton era, moving out of the triangulation era, and now it's our time. It's our time to step up and be the leaders. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so exciting about this.
Are we in the capital scene, or the
capital scene?
The Capitolocene or the Anthropocene?
Oh.
I'm going to have a guest, Jason Moore. He teaches Marx theory and philosophy. And I did a show on him. And he talks about the Capitolocene, and he's quite controversial. I did a show about him, and now he's going to come on. And I hope everybody in my chat that when he comes has their questions, because he's got some wild ideas.
But I agree. I think that we're definitely moving out of that time period. There's a lot of opportunity for us. And what you were talking about, Matt, in terms of the regulations and shit, people just get lazy. Once you got a system and an operation that's going strong, that's really all it's about. Like, I just want to kick my feet up and not really have to work for this shit. I don't want to innovate. Everything's already set. Why change anything?
It's painfully true.
Jack,
short-term profits outweigh sustainable solutions.
My belief about humans is that we are mostly weak, but we skew very slightly towards good. A better way to put it might be we're mostly lazy, but we're slightly good. So if it costs us absolutely nothing, we'll say, okay, do a good thing for somebody. As long as I don't have to do anything or think about it or whatever, fine.
It sounds like what you're maybe a better word is we're mostly passive. Is that what you're saying? Like, kind of like mostly like, if it's not really if it's not really rocking the boat or really causing trouble, just kind of
or they don't have to think about it, or like, I mean,
that's why they want a dictator, Jake.
Yeah,
they don't want to think about it.
I think that I think people are definitely mostly lazy when we can afford to be. And one of the things that's which is really interesting to think about, because I think one of the reasons why so many of America's problems have run away from us is because overall life in the empire has been really fucking good and distracting. So you know, like, so of course, like, so let me explain what I mean by that. Now, obviously, we know
Mhm.
union membership has gone down, wages haven't caught up with things like that in general. But there have been periods in the
Cell
United
phones. Yeah.
States. Exactly
Yeah.
what she got up right now.
Yeah.
You know, so
Uh-huh.
there have been periods in the United States where the middle class has done relatively decently. Obviously, the further back you go, then blacks and Latinos and stuff are excluded from that. But just in general, as Andrea had, when everybody's like this, everybody always got their phone in their face. We're really distracted. We don't know how any Americans don't really know how much of anything works. And one of the things that I always think about is Americans don't realize how goddamn big this country is. France is the size of Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like countries are
Yeah.
this is 50 English speaking countries. That's what the United States is. And so, you know, and that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why it's so hard for us to make change because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
So
States' rights,
Well,
man.
I'll put it.
Yeah, sovereignty. Well, I just want to point out we've been rocking for about an hour. See, that flies by, right?
It was.
I love this show.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
great show. You know, no one's obligated, and that goes for everyone, including me. No one's obligated to be here the rest of the night.
No,
You're the only one
it's
who
been
that's not
enjoyable.
true of.
Yeah.
You're absolutely obligated. I mean,
right. You gotta
Wait.
stay.
Yeah, you run it. They stay. I go to bed, watch the rest of it while Andrea and Matt stay up until.
Yeah.
I'm gonna filibuster this stream until
I'm
I'm gonna go.
4 a.m.
I'm gonna go pop some Ritalin. You ain't going nowhere, Matt.
Nice.
You gonna be here all
Pop
damn
some
night.
Ritalin.
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Fine.
At some point, I'll be all by myself like this.
Yeah, all by myself. No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need 'em then, don't need 'em now.
My man's is on. My
God.
man's is rolling on something strong. He on that coke.
I have been trying to.
Jake bumped me up
You
to the
got it
top
in there.
row.
You got it.
God damn it, Jake.
I've been
I'm
trying
not
to
ready
use that
for the
clip
top
for
row.
weeks.
Send me back
I'm
down.
so glad you did.
So look, I think that I'm trying not to ruin a podcast that I pre-taped with a show called Movies versus Capitalists.
Sounds like
I
we've
did
got
it
a
earlier
classic
today.
conflict of interest here.
Well, no, I just
Corrupt Matt letter hack Strackbone.
it was an hour and a half of talking about anti-capitalism stuff, and now I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to keep saying all the stuff I talked about with those people because it's fresh on my
Say
mind.
it.
I'm not trying to do that, but there's, you know, the podcast is actually awesome. Everyone should check it out, and everyone on screen should try and get on there. You pick a movie, you talk about how it's
We
anti-capitalist.
should. If
right?
only I knew someone that was on there who could set me up.
Put in a
Yeah,
maybe
Harvey
I'll
Gates
try.
on there. So
Add
yeah,
their email.
I've been on there twice. It was really fun. So
Wow, if only I knew
I
somebody
watch
who was
it
on
every
there
now and then.
twice.
It's fun. I never know the movies, but I not all the time. The
Well,
old
we-
movies I know.
we talked about a movie that juxtaposed the criminal underworld with a lot of speeches, excerpts of speeches from Barack Obama, McCain, and George W. Bush and Henry Paulson during the financial crisis of 2008. And so there is a moment where they say, you know, Barack Obama is talking about how we're a community, we're one people. That's how we're going to solve this, right? And I'm sort of bitter listening to that because that was all empty rhetoric. But it wasn't untrue. Okay. And so then someone in the movie is like, no, America is, you're alone out here, you're on your own, you got to do for yourself. And that's not true either, although it's a truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, that can be true for a lot of people. But I believe the answer and the solutions are in community and organizing and, you know, a cadre, and just, you don't even have to be 100% on the same page. Get together. Maybe your organizing is for the sake of strategizing and coming up
And
with the
just
best
a-
strategy.
Just a scotch of cocaine. Yeah.
Or what
Just
I
a
mean,
little bit,
or
you know.
or
A little bump, and then
electrolyte
you're fine.
or liquid IV, whatever
That too.
floats your
Yeah,
boat.
that'll work.
Whatever it is that you need.
I mean,
I
let's
agree
not-
though. I agree though. I mean, look at for as absolutely ridiculous as the far right wing is, look at how effective they are politically, or how effective they can be politically, because they're able to group themselves together and show
Yeah.
up to the polls for things. I mean, they can get rather sophisticated. Now, luckily for us, you know, a judge like for instance, a judge slapped down the hand count Georgia ballots thing. A judge labeled that as unconstitutional, but they do stuff like that. You know, that takes focus. That takes, let's look at these very specific spots in the government around the country and see how we can make an impact. And they've done it. They've done it to pretty strong effect. I mean, how is it that someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene can be in office?
We need to take the whatever formula they used for getting somebody whose opinions are as disliked as Marjorie Taylor Greene's when you just say them out loud, and apply that to getting opinions that are currently disliked, even though they're good for us. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, "Hey, gang, let's all go do some heroin." Obviously a bad idea. And we're like, "Hey, gang, let's all eat some broccoli." A good idea, but nobody wants to do it for the most part. We gotta figure out how the heroin salesman was so damn.
We gotta make broccoli a bit exciting.
And go to like a district.
My broccoli's exciting.
Doesn't have that many people that vote. Like find the lowest voter percentage turnout district.
True.
Get everyone to move on over there who has a remote work job. We'll move on over there. We'll all do our little computer job, so it doesn't matter where we're living. Then
not a bad idea.
We beef up the numbers, and then we vote someone like Jake in there.
But no, but honestly, what you're saying is the type of stuff that it takes. You know, because at the end of the day, all this shit's really about is getting people to vote. That's all it's really about at the end of the day. That's why like despite like all this media, like the media's in this horse race and like, oh, no one knows which way it's gonna go. And if everything continues to pan out, Kamala's gonna win, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, no one saw it coming. But yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. And the reason is because she got enough people in the right areas to come out and vote. That's all we gotta do. That's all we gotta do.
Push her to the left.
It really is eye-opening that this country hasn't already adopted automatic voter registration. Like, that's not such a scary thing. You turn 18 or whatever, you get your driver's license, whatever it is. Not driver's license because you're still too young, but whatever it is, right? You turn 18, you get automatically registered to vote. It just happens. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to do anything after you're registered. You don't have to vote, but if you wanted to, that step is out of the way.
But what's the mechanism?
The whole register
automatically. But what's the mechanism that triggers it?
I'm just the idea guy. I didn't say I had it all figured
out.
Like
your social security and shit like that. I mean,
people have been talking about there are movements around that, like everything else. People have figured out different ways to do it. I'm sure it can be done. But the point is that it's too people procrastinate. Okay, I'm going to bring this up for like the third show in a row. There was this popular right-wing kid who was he's got a show. He was interviewing David Pakman. It's like in studio, right? So he's doing well.
Yes.
And he's like, convince me not to vote for Trump. And then by the end, he was like, okay, you've convinced me of a couple of things. It's really interesting. But you know what? I don't even know if I'm registered to vote, actually. I don't know if I'm going to vote for Trump. I've never voted before. And I was just like, what the fuck? And he said, I'm not kidding. He said, well, I was in the hospital recently. Don't they register you as soon as you go into the hospital? And Pakman was like, I don't think so. And he goes, maybe I'm thinking of the DMV.
Where did that come from? Where did you hear that? What?
But I'm glad you brought that up though, because first and foremost, yes, absolutely. If we're pro democracy, if we're pro people being involved, then why not have automatic voter registration? There's not really a good argument against it. There really isn't.
True.
But also I'm glad that
democracy.
Unless that's literally the only reason. And again, but that's why Republicans are anti-democracy, because people don't want their shit.
But if everyone was signed up to vote, we wouldn't need a voter registry. The only purpose of a voter registry is to restrict people in the first place.
Yeah, and adding steps and making it difficult. Because if you're not, and that's the thing too, like the only positive thing about being registering to vote is you're probably going to commit to voting. But then the whole problem is, like you pointed out, Andrea, like people really shouldn't have to do it in the first place. But like Matt, what you were saying, a lot of people don't know how to register to vote. They don't know that they have to change affiliations. For like in Democratic primaries, you have to be registered as a Democrat. You can't be registered as an independent to vote. Like there's like stuff like that. And especially the younger generations you go down, the less people typically know about how this shit works, unless you're like a 21, 22-year-old who's really into politics, but that's not that common. It's just not. Because when you look at the younger you go, like people vote for like big world issues, like I want to end world hunger and end wars and
Yeah.
shit like that. And then as people get older, they vote like on, oh, my mortgage is too expensive.
Yeah. Or gas. Oh,
Yeah.
gas is so expensive, which I'm glad. Let it be. I mean, let's get rid of it.
Yeah, for
Look
that
at-
matter, F it.
Look at how in 2020 there was more voter turnout than ever, and people attribute that to voting against Trump and really need to get him out of there. But it was also like,
Get out the vote drives.
oh, I mean,
Mail-in
people
voting.
were home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They
Oh,
were
but
all-
Yeah, it
speaking
was
of that,
and there were
speaking of that,
ballots being mailed around.
the more votes are being cast now early than was in 2020.
That's great. I just think
that's
the
that's really
easier
good.
you make it, the more participation you will have. And that's why
Yeah.
there's gerrymandering and all this shit out there to make it more difficult.
Hell
hate
yeah,
terrible.
because cutting Social Security is not a popular idea.
Yeah.
You're not going to sell that effectively to people. You're just not. So
This is why I am so glad I'm going to be 50 and I've already joined AARP and I get the bulletin
Boom.
and everything. I love this shit. The AARP
I got the
news
same
app
one.
is so awesome. You get all in like 3 posts. You get what movies are hot on Netflix, how to improve your lovemaking,
Boy,
and
getting old is good.
and where Social Security is on the ballot across the country. And it's like, this is all I want to know about anything at all. And then there's some diet and heart stuff in there, which is also helpful.
God.
Cholesterol
Honestly, I think that is
Top
more
3.
effective, truly,
Yeah.
for political change than 3 articles about politics.
Exactly.
I'm sincerely convinced that's a more
Yep.
effective way to reach people.
Absolutely.
especially more and more that we're in a soundbite culture.
Yep.
Mm.
For sure. Yeah. We got to keep on adjusting with the times.
They should put the Social Security one sandwiched between hot on Netflix, improve your lovemaking. Those should be,
Yeah.
because you want to like get through them all in a row. But
Or
you might-
make it so you have to like, figure out, where Social Security is on the ballot, sign in the quiz, make sure you
to
fully
unlock the
properly
lovemaking
understand.
article.
Yeah,
Well, think
that
about
way
the
we
chain of
know
events.
you got to make
stand by
people
the
work for it.
AARP. Andrea,
So
think about
here-
the chain of events here. You what's on Netflix? Okay, the night begins. How to improve your lovemaking? Well, we're watching Netflix already. The logical conclusion here, but then you finish. It's a full 35 seconds later, and you're done. And the article worked. It added 5 seconds, and now you need something to read. Social Security.
Yeah. No, that is a really effective layout though. It really is. It really
I
is.
love it. It's a great app.
It's
And I
great.
can link up my Google Fit to the AARP app. And now I'm getting like redeemable points. So I get discounts on Airbnb, Target.
Scientists
all kinds
just
of
where you
shit.
look at your watch and be like a new aphrodisiac, just like a, you know what I'm saying? Just turn to page
I didn't know
52. We got some spicy
Aphrodisiac.
shit in there for you. Hell yeah.
They
I
do.
need to do this AARP
It's
shit.
awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
Just need your power to go out for 8 days.
Right.
I did. That was, hey, I mean, I made the
Yeah.
best of a power outage. Let me
Yeah.
tell you. It's like, hey, it's dark. Let's light
Yeah.
some candles.
Your relationship.
Pretty romantic. We
Yes,
got to
you
get rid of
got
this
Right.
wine.
Ain't nothing else to do.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
just
exactly
Ain't nothing
it.
else to do but what we really want to do anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you've lit candles, and you and your wife are there reading about Social Security. Like, yeah.
Oh, she hates that shit.
Oh, that's funny. No,
No,
she
it was-
is reading about regenerative agriculture.
Absolutely. But you know
Yeah.
what? You suddenly
do a
don't
lot of
have
that
your
in the
damn
dark.
phone. There, you don't see any news.
Right.
Life
Oh,
is
and the world
pretty
is good
fucking
again?
sweet, man. It was pretty
Yeah.
great. Toward the end, I was like, okay, yeah, we want the power to come back on. This is ridiculous. We need refrigeration.
Yeah.
But if I get a solar powered generator and the power comes back on next time, I might give it a couple more days, man, because I am not trying to look at the internet
Right.
after like
Isn't it
day
amazing
5.
I'm so
how like
glad I
if your
got
power
mine.
goes out, like how quickly you realize how you don't really live in the world
Yep.
very
Yeah.
often.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's amazing because, like, you know, you
I
don't
love
got your phone, you don't got
hooking
no
myself
power.
up to the Matrix.
You're just like, what do I do? Should I go play outside or something?
No, read books. I thought about this the other day. I have a million books and I have not read them all. And I thought, well, I just need lots of batteries, a good flashlight or a solar light or whatever. During the day, you don't, if there's nothing, I'm going to be reading my way through the apocalypse.
That reminds
That's
me
what I
of an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I've seen
Ooh,
like
what's the
all
premise?
of that shit.
Oh,
So basically, there's a nuclear apocalypse,
Yep.
and for
That's
some
a good one.
reason, this guy, this
Yeah,
librarian,
it's a good
survives. And so now he's like, all he wants to do is read books, and like he's like, oh shit, the world, there's nobody around. I don't have to do anything. I got all these books, and then my man's he's getting comfortable, and the next thing you know, his glasses fall and break. So it's like life was good, but now it's not. And then Rod Serling, he
life
comes in and
was
he's like,
good.
a nuclear
Yeah.
apocalypse. A man
Yeah.
thinking he has all the time in the world.
Always make sure you have spare. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Rod
Jackson-
Serling is a legend, man.
Jackson
Oh, yeah.
Serling.
he
When
wrote
that
a lot of
motherfucker
those.
shows up, you know shit's
did?
getting bad.
No,
Remember-
honestly, The Twilight Zone is one of the greatest TV shows that will
It
ever
is.
be made.
And that specifically was one of those episodes that I love where like there's not really a moral. It's just sort of like, wouldn't that be fucked up?
You're
you're
right,
like,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
you guys-
Wouldn't it suck if you
Cool.
were the only person left in the world?
Do you guys all have a
Yes.
favorite one? I have the one that scared me the most. That's where the old lady's home and her phone rings and nobody's there. And it keeps happening. And it turns out the phone was ringing, but it was the cemetery.
Oh,
Remember that one? Oh my
don't know.
God. That one scared
I
me for
like-
years.
Round
There's
table. Everyone's
there's
favorite,
always
go.
the one where the little kid has control over the town because he has the
yes.
message.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
favorite is where a whole bunch of people are trapped in a diner because the bridge is out, like during a snowstorm, and they
Oh.
realize a UFO crashed. And then at the very end, you realize the alien is among them. He's like one of the guys in the diner. I thought that was
I'm-
cool.
Yeah,
I think I've been
I like-
watching Twilight Zone tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's
later.
I got like the
I haven't
whole
watched it in
collection
a
on
long
Prime,
time.
You do?
on Amazon Prime, yeah. And
Heck
there-
yeah.
I'm thinking of a whole lot of ones.
I like the Oasis cigarette ads that they would always do, where he's like, Oasis cigarettes, it's smooth. You know, and it's like, you never heard of Oasis cigarettes
Smooth.
outside of the Twilight Zone.
It's smooth.
Andrea, you gotta have a favorite. Twilight Zone.
Well, one of my favorites is the book one, and that one was already taken. So
Fair.
What about
was
okay?
gonna
I
say-
like the one where there's like it's like you're looking at people and these aliens come and they're really small aliens, and then at the end you find out that those small aliens are human beings who landed on a planet with giants.
Right,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
That's
Oh,
classic.
Cool.
Okay. And then there's
I like
the
How to
one,
Serve Man.
How
wait,
to
what one?
Serve Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw the one where the family is a bunch of rich, spoiled, horrible brats, and they wear the masks, and then they can't take the masks off, and they become the horror mask. They show to the world their ugliness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
one where it's like this guy is just living his life, and it
something
turns
on the
out he's
wing.
in like a military experiment or some fucking thing, like the Truman Show, something like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. They're all
And
good,
now I'm
man.
gonna have to right. Somebody just said Twilight Zone, aka wouldn't that suck? Wouldn't it suck if this shit happened?
a lot
Yeah,
of
no.
it.
Legendary
of it.
show.
Yeah.
My dad was
recently-
watching Route 66. That's that's a
Oh,
super
yeah.
show,
That's a old
they,
one.
they got that is it's a play ass intro, some big
Before
band.
my
You know
time.
what I'm saying?
Ooh.
That shit is cool. But yeah, nah, man. I'm
Cool,
Old
baby.
school. Okay, so everyone, whether it's the Twilight Zone or whatever, everyone needs to take time in their life to go back and watch some of this retro stuff.
Leave It to Beaver.
What
Yeah.
they did on such a small budget was amazing. Oh man, I just saw a clip of Leave It to Beaver where the dad is like, "Well, if a woman's home all the time, might as well be in the kitchen." It was like, "Holy shit, Ward!"
Man.
Hey,
Holy shit, Ward! You fit.
Hey, all you got to do is go back to the early 2000s.
That guy
You go to
should
the
start a
early
podcast.
2000s. The early 2000s, we were saying shit that we would never get away with saying
Right.
today. You're like, oh god, they were saying this shit out loud, and it was
Might as well
not a
make
big
some
deal.
cookies, bitch. Come on, what are we doing?
Right.
Well,
I'm
I
thinking
just
of this show,
what? You got
Martian.
one?
My
Yeah,
favorite
Andrea.
Martian.
oh, My Favorite Martian is
Oh, that was
classic.
one of my
Yeah.
favorites. I love
Bixby,
that one.
right?
Yes, my
yeah.
favorite.
Or no, it's
No, he was the other one. Eddie,
it's the
courtship
guy,
of
he was-
Eddie's father.
My Favorite Martian was the guy who was like most famous as an old man. actor. He was in
Ray,
Cocoon. Is that who it is?
Ray. His name is Ray.
Yes, Ray something. I'm thinking.
Ray. Come on, guys, in the
Let
chat.
me see. I'm
help us.
about
I know
to.
you're
I'm
not
about to.
old.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking-
Walston.
Ray Walston.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
he was like a big Broadway star
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
too.
Ray Walston.
I
But
started
no, yeah,
watching.
That was
Yeah.
a very 60s housewife type of. Yeah.
Well,
I watched all the
I was a kid.
original Superman cartoons where they did it all with rotoscope.
Those were rad. He punches
It's amazing.
the laser beam back.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Like they restored them and everything, but just what they did with such a small budget back in the day. And like I keep wanting to show this. We'll show it one day on here. There's like a 5.5-minute video on how they used to make Popeye animation way back.
Oh.
And there's like hundreds of people involved.
Yeah.
Oh
like
yeah,
a
because they do like
3-minute
every
thing.
little movement. Think about
Yeah.
like
Every single
Japanese
one.
anime.
Yeah.
Like in the
Yeah.
like
One
80s and 90s.
Page. Yep.
I
Yeah,
mean,
just
it's
like a flip book.
amazing how long
no,
it
that
takes.
shit
Flip
was cool
book.
as hell.
Absolutely.
Real
Every
basically.
movement. Very, very.
Have y'all been
Hi,
watching
Randy.
The Penguin?
One with Trump.
Oh
on
yeah.
H-
Oh, the Penguin is amazing.
Incredible. Absolutely
haven't.
incredible.
Oh my God, it's one of the
So
greatest
annoyed
It's
by
shows.
that.
so fucking it's incredible. Matt
It's so
Reeves'
good.
take on Batman is, in my opinion, fucking
Here's where I am.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's
little
great.
annoyed because I don't want it to be good. I don't want it to be good
why?
Oh,
because there's so much really good like Batman and content right now, and I'm like another one, and I am gonna want to see it, and I'm gonna be
This
bummed if
is-
it gets
It's
spoiled.
good, man.
This
It's like a
is
mob.
good.
It's like a mob show.
Oh,
yeah,
I
it
have
doesn't,
to
Exactly
say
what
it.
I would want to see.
It
That's
doesn't
exactly
even
what I
need-
want to see.
it
It's
doesn't
so
need
good.
Batman at all. It's so
Yeah,
good. Just
I want to see
without
the Penguin
Batman.
versus the Falcones. You know,
That's what it
That's
is.
basically what it is. It's the Penguin. It's the Penguin versus the Falcones and the Maronis. And he's like conning his way to the top.
He is such a con.
He's a piece of shit.
He is
such
a
piece
total
of shit.
sociopath.
But
He's
it's
the
so
Penguin
good.
though. So-
So
But look,
I'll
like
pirate it tonight. Look, I haven't even seen a preview
Where
of
is
it,
it
and I'm
on?
gonna make
Where
this
can I watch
prediction.
it?
on
HBO.
Max.
On Max.
On
I'm gonna make
HBO
this
Max.
prediction. Black Skull shows up as the big twist in the season finale. That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
calling
so because these are loosely based. Look, they did not take a lot of inspiration from the comic books, but there's 2 series by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale called The Long Halloween and the follow-up, which was Dark Victory. These are this is where the main gangster storyline comes from. It sort of started in Batman Year One and then came from these. And it
Year one
it.
is
So it's
good.
Two-Face.
yeah,
It's
and
not-
those are heavy like villain, but of no one villain. The main villain ends up being somebody without powers and no like fancy name or costume. It's more street level. And so I think that this is
Holiday.
going to stay that way. Yeah, the holiday
Yeah,
killer.
you got it.
Yeah.
I would be, if you like good stuff, you'll like this.
No, we like
Oh, yeah.
shitty stuff.
And it's
Sorry.
crazy
Hey,
and violent and oh,
I
it's
like shit
good.
that fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
There was plenty of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I
Uh,
was
shitty TV.
I really like the Batman, but no, when I started watching the Penguin, I was like, this
Yeah,
is-
I thought
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have
Robert
to watch it.
Pattinson as Batman was going to
yeah,
be
I thought that
like-
was gonna. Yeah, I didn't think that
What?
was gonna, but he nailed it.
they
Did he
nailed it.
really?
He nailed
I
it.
skipped
Yeah.
that one. All right, I'll watch it.
Oh, it's
But
great.
Penguin first. Penguin first.
No, Penguin is
No,
a
you gotta
follow-up.
watch. Yeah, you got to watch the Batman first.
Oh, do I? Oh,
It's the
Yeah.
same story. It picks up where the Batman movie left off. It might lead into the next Batman movie.
I like how I like both. I like Christopher Nolan and Matt Reeves' take on Batman. They're both very different.
Yeah, I agree.
Christopher Nolan's is kind of more like real world, and Matt Reeves is like Gotham City. Like,
Yeah.
I will,
you know, like,
yeah,
it's very
that's what
dark.
I prefer.
It's
Is
and,
that-
and the Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman to me is the best live action Batman in my opinion.
I like it when Gotham City is like in like a mysterious, not quite defined era, like
Yeah, and
cell phones and cars with super round wheel wells.
Like
And
the
what-
40s and shit.
Yeah,
what
like a
what
mix.
the Batman did right was, or what I like so much about it is that Batman is everywhere all the time. He's not. He talks about working in the shadows, but he's out in broad daylight. He's around the cops all the time. He's on crime scenes. Everyone sees him everywhere, right? It's not like he'll roll up into a club and start kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's this
That was one of
thing
the
that
best
only
scenes.
shows up every now and then.
Alright. No
He's in it the
spoilers.
whole time. And I think that that's very cool.
Is it
like
a
that
spoiler
worked
that
for me.
Batman wins?
Check
the
it out,
fist
man.
fight?
Check it out. You gotta watch it, man.
I
wouldn't
will.
say
be
he
surprised
wins.
if you don't
In my
like it.
copious free spare time that I don't have a lot
Yeah,
of,
it's
I
gonna
will
have to be
try.
3 weeks from now.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure I get all y'all contact from Matt after we're done with
Yeah.
this.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
And one more thing about that movie, the Batman theme song from the 1960s was reinvented for the movie. So when Batman starts
Really?
fighting and you hear his theme going, you can hear the Batman, da-da-da-da, Batman. It's
Yeah, you're right.
incorporated
You're
into
right.
it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you said that, I
They've
can
got
hear it.
trumpets,
That's right.
and yeah, it's really cool.
I can hear it.
Cool.
Anyway, I love that movie. Hey,
Cool.
is that over your shoulder, Jackson? Is that a Jason Fabok Batman?
I believe. I think so. This was a gift, but I think so.
It's awesome.
And then I got the Harry Potter shit, and then I got the Reefer Madness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I love Reefer Madness is something we used to watch in high school just to be like, this
Look at-
is
Yeah.
crazy, but that's not what happened.
Imagine watching
Yeah.
it while you're high, dude.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
You have a heart
hell
attack,
yeah.
man.
Hey man, I got
The absolute irony.
I got the Bible of Batman right here.
Oh yeah, I got that. That's awesome. Nice.
Massive,
Oh, nice.
massive
Good job.
nerd shit going on, man.
Dude,
Massive nerd levels.
should
of
show you
nerd.
my library sometime.
No shame whatsoever.
I built a custom book stand for books that size and larger because I had so
Wow.
many of them. I was like, hurts my back
Wow.
trying to read these books.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
my
you-
old human
Y'all gotta
resource
check- y'all
manuals.
gotta check
They
that
were
shit
always
out.
like huge, humongous.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a
Thank
little
you.
nervous. I'm a little nervous about James Gunn's take on DC. I can't
Yeah.
lie. I'm a little nervous
don't-
about that.
I don't let my expectations get too high. I just assume it's all going to be bad until I'm pleasantly surprised. But
Yeah.
he did just announce that crypto is going to be in the Superman.
Yeah.
movie. I don't know.
For me,
Isn't that like his home planet?
His dog.
his
Crypto.
dog, and it's just like
Oh.
so for me. And again, we'll see, because at the end of the day, it's all about the writing. It's always all about the
I
writing.
didn't know he
Did
had
you
a
hear
dog.
why he wanted to put the dog in there?
Because of his dog or some shit like that.
He adopted a dog from a hoarder. They had 60 dogs in a backyard who had never been around
Oh
humans.
my god.
And he adopted this dog, and it was like eating everything in the house. It was trying to bite
Oh.
everyone. It like ate his laptop. And it was while he was writing the script, and he's like, I got to put it in.
And
Because
it
Crypto isn't supposed to be like a good dog.
it
The
just
dog with
seems like
superpowers.
it just seems. And
No.
again, we'll see. But James Gunn, he's most credited for Guardians of the Galaxy, which
Yeah.
is a fun movie. But like he's putting in his Superman movie, he's gonna have several people from the Justice League in it and the Super Dog. And it's like, this is your first DC movie. It's kind of looking
No, he
like
did Suicide Squad.
Oh, and Suicide Squad. But it seems like he's like, all right, we're just gonna put everybody in the movie, and then
Yeah.
like
Ah.
that's kind of like the Marvel approach. I could be wrong, but when
Yeah.
I saw that he gonna put it's gonna be a dog with superpowers in this shit, man.
I think Do you? Okay, my hot take is that those Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I like them, but imagine them without the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
shitty
Well,
movies.
I mean, again, I
Just-
think they're fine movies. It just doesn't. It just I don't know. We'll see. But it just seems
Yeah.
like it would be
Alright.
better for your first debut. Just tell a Superman story. Don't tell a Superman and Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and this
Yeah.
and the dog and. But we'll see.
Or just tell a
HBO.
dog story. Screw the
I would like to
Superman.
see
Right, exactly. Just make a crypto movie.
There's
sure.
a question for Jackson. Jackson, have you ever watched No Woman Beyond This Point yet?
I already know who asked that. Libby. Did Libby
Libby.
ask that?
Yes.
Yes, I
she
knew it was
did.
Libby. She's been trying to get me to watch that for like a year.
She's
But
on
no
my
men-
chat. I'm
No
so
Men
happy.
Beyond This Point.
Libby.
Yeah, man, it's a documentary. I need to watch it. That's hilarious.
Alright.
As
You
soon as you
realize-
asked that, I knew it was her.
I asked
You
Libby.
did a scene from in real life just now. You did a scene from Black Dynamite. That was amazing.
I didn't even
I mean, I
realize
could
it.
check who that was. God damn it.
It was Libby, baby.
Yeah.
HBO is also doing a Green Lantern show. Just throwing that out there.
Oh.
Hal
I
Jordan,
could
isn't
dig
it? Is
that,
it Hal
actually.
Jordan? Is it
Yeah,
that
they
one?
just
Better
they
be.
just cast what's the guy's name? Kyle Parker
Or John
something like
Stewart.
that?
Just not Kyle.
They're making
Rayner.
him older.
My
John
subscription's
Stewart's
gonna
in
be
it, yeah.
up.
Oh no, it's
Okay.
John Stewart, not Hal Jordan.
It's
Jon
both,
Stewart.
yeah. But Hal
Both?
Jordan's an older actor, so it's a guy from Friday Night Lights. He's older now, so I'm thinking
That's
maybe
not-
they're gonna have one segueing out and the new guy coming in. I don't-
Dude, I hope it's like full on. I'm sorry. Let's be honest, gals. I hope it's full on post Parallax storyline. That would be rad.
Maybe it's written by Tom King, who's very successful, one of my favorite comic book writers, and the guy who did the most recent season of True Detective,
Oh.
Yo.
the
I
one
just-
that took
I
place in
started
Arctic.
but I've heard
watching
it's
all that
good.
shit.
Oh,
I started
good.
watching all that.
The
true
first
crime
season of True Detective is
this
good.
year.
If you like the
Definitely. I think
first season of True Detective, check out oh, now I'm forgetting what it's called. The Red Riding trilogy. That's what it's kind of based off. There's 3 90-minute like TV movies from the BBC that are based on a series of books. It's called the Red Riding trilogy. Fascinating. But if you like season 1 of
Oh.
True Detective, check that out.
Were
I think
you
I've-
a little sad when Henry Cavill was no longer the Superman?
Yeah, I thought he was good.
I thought he was a
Really
perfect
good.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
He
really
really
like
was.
that stuff. But oh well. I mean, it's like to me, it's like when comic books change the writer and artist. It's gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
Like, they just change everything. This is gonna be all new. Oh well. I still
Yeah.
have the old stuff.
James Bond did us such a favor. Like they
Yeah,
they
that-
demonstrated you can change the lead actor. It's fine. It's
Very
all
true.
fine.
Very true.
True.
Very true. Because I remember when Casino Royale came out. Man, that shit was so damn cool when it was all on the
Yeah.
scaffoldings and shit. That was a hell of a
Yeah.
scene because that was Daniel Craig. That was his first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His first.
Yeah.
Who's doing it now? Didn't they already choose somebody?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they did, or I don't know. I feel like maybe I saw.
It's gotta
Alright,
be
well,
time.
I gotta
But
tell you
Pierce
guys,
Brosnan though. He's the
I think I'm gonna be the first one leaving tonight.
Okay, Sandy.
Well,
Have a good
I
one.
have
fucking-
Goddamn.
Jackson, I enjoyed it. My chat, you can all stay. I can't sit, my neck hurts. It's been a pleasure, Jackson.
Yes, Sandy. And
Everyone-
again, I'm gonna get everybody's contact, and I'm gonna reach
Cool.
out. So we definitely
It's
need. To
I think it's all on our show notes too.
Okay, cool.
But are you on Discord, Jackson?
No,
We are
but I soon will be. I'm at a place now where it's about time for me to start. Doing
Yeah,
shit
we
like
have
We could put you on a group.
You
Better
never
hack
there.
I
that
got dragged
one.
there by my
Jay-
audience,
Yeah.
but I
It's
like
not
All
it.
good
right,
for you.
everybody. Good night. I
See ya,
love
see
you
ya.
that. All right,
guys.
Sandy. Have a good night.
You're
Bye,
Have
wonderful.
a
Sandy.
great night, Sandy.
See you, buddy.
I'm tired. Bye.
I like Discord. I think it is I call it a social media bunker. You have a lot more control over what happens there. You're not just
Yeah.
there aren't a bunch of fucking trolls and Nazis showing up in your feed, and there's no ads. It's
I like it
ad-free.
it can become what you need it to be. And that's also
Yeah.
its downside, because if you're incompetent, like certain people I won't mention here, certain mustachioed people, it's difficult to learn.
We
but,
do a lot of coordinating
you know,
there.
It does calls, it does texts, it has it's like an all-in-one. It's very
Yeah.
utilitarian.
You can so I just bought the new Hellboy movie digitally. I can show
Crooked
that.
Man?
Yeah, it's great.
It looks cool.
They made that movie for 10 grand, 10 million, and
And
it's
pretty
good.
fucking
good. Yeah, it's
cool. I want to check. I want to check it out because it seems like they made it kind of just more like a bit less fantastical, more of like a just horror movie.
Yep. Oh, exactly. It
yeah.
takes place in the 50s or 59. It's straight out of the book. It's a literal adaptation. They did a very good job. But if I wanted to, I could show that on Discord and everyone could come
And you won't
watch
get
as many
flagged.
people as they
Piracy.
wanted.
It's another
Interesting.
term. It's called
Okay.
piracy.
Yeah, I could pirate that
Yeah.
for
Yeah, you
everyone
could
to watch.
literally just stream it illegally on another platform
could-
and then
we
talk
could
Yeah,
watch
we could be
Doctor
cool as
Who
hell.
every
They
night.
can all hear you.
Yeah.
Right. We can break the law legally. Exactly.
We could
But
watch
no,
Twilight do an
that
episode.
sounds cool though because I want to do shit like have like streaming parties where we watch just cool
There
stuff.
you
Dude,
go.
if Kamala
Can't do
wins,
that
if
on
you all go out and do your job and vote for this normal lady as opposed to the fascist, I will get a Max subscription and I'll pirate the entirety of Gotham, and we'll watch it on my Discord.
All right, shit, man. Well, go ahead
Hell
and
yeah.
everybody show up to the polls, do your thing. You know, we
Yeah.
looking good so far, but we got to
We'll
keep
be
this shit
pirates.
going.
That's an
Yeah.
incentive.
We got to keep it going.
It'd be awesome.
Are there any gamers in the chat? Are there gamers? Jackson,
Oh,
are
what do
you?
you have a Doom wad
Gamers
coming
in
out?
the show.
I can't really call myself a big gamer. I play sometimes. When I do play, I play like Zelda and
cool.
like games like Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
And yeah, like the classic shit. Like Super Smash is the best melee game ever. And then I still play what's that Star Wars game where you like I don't know why I'm
Jedi
blanking.
Outcast.
Yeah, all of those I played those. The Survivor, the Outcast. What's the
Yeah.
game where you can like pick? You can like be soldiers and then fight with like
Oh,
all the
Battlefront.
characters. Battlefront, yeah, Battlefront 2. That game
That
is
game
is still cool as hell.
Remember the
Yes.
original?
Matt, I posted a link in the private chat.
Remember the
I'm gonna
original
announce
Star
something.
Wars video game in the arcade where it's just like a green outline of a target and you got TIE
Like you were in a
fighters would show
ship?
up?
I don't know. I remember. I'm sitting here thinking of Okay, I'm in this Doom world right now that you just posted.
You want me to
Yeah,
show
well,
this,
I
Andrea?
made a new Doom wad for Halloween. It's called
Very talented.
3:33
Coolest damn
a.m.
friends.
The
and
Mega Wad.
It's scary.
Yeah.
You're gonna be scared shitless.
That Christmas one was pretty scary.
Yeah, and that's not even like that's. I wasn't even trying. So imagine how
Imagine
scary
when you
it'll
put
be
forth
if I'm
an
trying.
effort. Right. When you
Yeah.
put
I think this
forth an
weekend
effort.
I'm gonna try to do an Andrea marathon stream.
I
I want
got
to
hooked
do
on that game.
penultimate. Did you really?
installing?
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't play video games. The last one I ever played was like the first Doom when I was in high school.
Oh
And-
shit.
Yeah, and Andrea did this. How would you explain a WOD? It's just like your
It's
version,
just
right?
it's a mod. I make levels and sometimes graphics, but I make a annual Christmas series called A War on Christmas, where you run around and kill a bunch of Santa Clauses.
Like zombie Santa Clauses. And so, I was like, well, I'll get used to this and get my bearings because Andrea wanted to do it on live stream and critique me, and it was fun, right? And I was actually like,
You're
oh, I
addicted.
remember how to play this. Like it was the last game I played, so of course I remember how to play it. And then like afterward, I was playing it a lot. And I was like, shit, I just lost like 3 hours. This is bullshit.
What's that game? Yeah, you know that game where it's like they like you creep up to these like golden men and hit them on the head with a hammer, and then they wake up and scream chasing you. Like, have you seen those things on like YouTube and Instagram? And it's like you hit it, and it's like and you have to.
That
run.
might have been a dream you had.
I am not familiar.
I don't think
I
it was
don't
a
know.
dream. I don't think so. But maybe I'm just the only one. It's like some computer game or something that
The
for like a long
creeping
time
up
on
part.
Instagram. It's like it's like kind of low budget, and you have a hammer, and there's like a group of people huddled in a circle, and you go up and you hit one on the head, and
That's
then
illegal.
it wakes up. Quite illegal. And then it wakes up and it like chases you screaming, and you have to run away from it successfully.
I gotta
What
find
happens
this
if you're
game. Wait,
unsuccessful?
audience, if you know.
I used to see it on Instagram all the time, like on my explore page. Like just it was some trendy game that people were playing. Like some mod developed it and it I don't
Interesting.
know.
I'll look for it. It
Yeah.
genuinely sounds freaky. It sounds like it would be
It's
terrifying.
creepy as hell. Like when I say they scream and they're like, ah! Like it's creepy.
And they're gold.
Yeah, they're like gold and they're like huddled in a circle, and then you hit them, and then they wake up and they just chase you. And the game is you.
I mean, rightly so. But
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
that's. I will check it out.
And again,
I want to do non-political content so that I can get some members of the. Here's my stupid ass plan. I'll just run it by you guys. I want to do like a day. I don't want to commit more than a day to this, but a day where I do non-political content specifically so I can get some people in the audience who don't already agree with me, so that when I do my debate show, it's not just us being like, should it be socialism or democratic socialism? Like, no.
yeah. Gotta mix it up a little
one
bit.
day.
Yeah, just gotta mix it up a little bit. Talk about cool shit. It's more to life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more
Has
to
anyone
life.
played the Silent Hill 2 remake? We have any gamers?
No.
I have not.
Is that what you were
Silent Hill
playing
2.
last night,
I was
Andrea?
playing the original last
Oh,
night.
It's
Hell
very
yeah.
dark. I
Letterhack
could
came
barely
into my
see
stream.
what was going on.
You're not
There was a
supposed to
fascinating reason for that. So the reason it's so dark in Silent Hill 2 is because Andrea's going to be annoyed because I'm sure she knows this already.
It's because
Uh,
I lowered the brightness on my television.
Well, there's another reason. The reason there's fog is because the processor couldn't handle that much draw distance in a video game, and so there was a point where you stopped seeing things,
Oh.
and so they just put a layer of fog over it and said, yeah, the city's covered in ash. So they worked it into the storyline.
So they basically they was like, fuck it, and they just made it work.
Yeah,
That's funny.
You got to do that sometimes, man. Sometimes you just got to be like, fuck it, and realize that it's good enough.
yeah.
Well, the
Bob
original
Ross.
Silent
Bob
Hill
Ross,
2,
happy accidents.
which I streamed the entirety of in 4 hours last night, the Letterhack showed up for. I saw
I
that.
fell asleep.
It's a really great game. I highly recommend playing it. There's a remake. I started the remake, and I'm very upset at the voice acting in the remake. It's not good.
Why? What's bad about
I don't
it?
understand that.
It's too professional. The voice acting in the remake is
Ah.
way too professional, and it removes like the aura of like weirdness that the original had. So that's my complaint.
Hey,
Fair point.
so check this out. Speaking of voice actors, I just watched the new Miyazaki, The Boy and the Heron, and I watched it with the American voice actors because I don't want to spoil
You
it.
love America, that's why?
No, it was very interesting choices, and I was like, I gotta hear this, and it was good. But so when I moved to South Carolina in 2022, I basically was like, okay, I'm not gonna smoke weed anymore. It's not legal here. I'm not gonna risk it. Smoke weed every day from 13 to 47. You know what I mean?
Me
Like,
too.
Right.
no
Pretty much.
problems. Did all kinds of drugs and everything. And so I basically I was like, fuck it, these will just be my sober years. So I've been like totally sober.
That's the
couple
name of your
visits-
memoir, The Sober Years.
Yeah,
by-
the southern sober period of my life. But there's a couple of times where I travel back to Colorado or up to Maryland and whatever, you can indulge. But so it's not like, I'm imposing it on myself. It's just choice. But then I and I happen to think being sober is pretty fucking trippy. It's very weird. All the dreams
Well, for
come back.
you,
Yeah,
Like,
then no, that
it's
is
weird.
true.
It's
Whenever
weird.
you're detoxing from shit, it's like your dreams are just like.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? I
Yeah.
wish I
I've
was.
not reached the stage in my. I'm not sober right now. I'm never sober.
I'm
I'm
never
not
sober.
quite there yet.
I'm
okay,
very
though, don't worry.
intoxicated. Please.
Well,
Do
so
not
I watched this
intoxicate me
movie,
further.
The Boy and the Heron. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have seen this yet.
Hmm.
Partway through, I had to stop it and just be like, okay, what the fuck is? I was like, is this really happening or am I tripping? Because it
you
was
were too sober.
I think the movie is a hardcore trip.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And you start
What is this
thinking,
movie? Can you describe it?
Boy and
so
the
you know
Heron?
Miyazaki does Princess Mononoke, Spirited
Sure.
Away. He's very famous for these movies. This is the
Princess
newest
Mononoke is
one.
one of my favorites.
I gotta watch it.
Absolutely. This is the newest one called The Boy and the Heron. And it's like World War II era. And you start thinking like, one, how did they come up with this story? Two, how did they come up with these scenes and the setting? And then three, like, how did they fucking draw this? Right. And so I was watching it just thinking like, oh, this will be the new one. I can't wait. It'll probably be my new favorite anime. And then I was just like, I don't know if I can finish this.
It's just too
I
much
did,
shit going
but
on.
I finished it. But at the end, I was like, I don't know if I can ever watch that again.
I'm
It's like saw sticks.
now because Princess Mononoke is one of my favorite. Animes.
Absolutely.
I saw that when I was young as hell.
I saw that in the theater. Did you see there was
That's a
some
hard one to see young.
There was some guy on
Rude.
Twitter who's like, "Hey, check it out! I made an AI live action trailer version of Princess Mononoke," and he was so proud of it. And he's like, "Here's how I did. It looked like garbage. It took all the soul out of it. It was horrible." And he basically just did like a shot for shot remake of the trailer. It didn't add anything to it. And I was like, if they did live action, I'd really hope it would be better than this.
Yeah, some
was
stuff
really bad.
some stuff just isn't for live action. Or
Yeah,
or
no,
if you do,
yeah.
you just got to be really careful.
Exactly. The voice actors from that were really good. Claire Dane did the or is it Danes did Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Agent Scully, what's her name? Always forget. She was the mother
fine
wolf.
ass Gillian
Anderson. Yeah.
Anderson.
Billy Crudup, Dr. Manhattan. That guy. He did the warrior. Anyway, I love that shit. But this new one, man, check it out if you haven't seen it.
That sound because I'm not in my
Sounds
sober
good.
period, so maybe it's more
Yeah, perfect. You know,
It's the
let the non-sober people watch this for you. We'll tell you how it is.
Yeah,
It's like, when it's
I gotta
watch a
check.
3D movie with 3D, like you need to be high in order to actually properly understand the layers. It's like Beyond the Black Rainbow, you know.
I gotta check out tonight. I gotta get up early in the morning. To finish stuff up.
When I was in high school, we used to do acid and watch Spaceballs without any sound, and just we knew all the lines, and I could still do it. But like that was like the height of crazy shit you could do in 92, I guess.
Hey, but shit, that's still fun.
It was.
Hey,
fun,
but I gotta go. I gotta log off.
Cool.
But I'm gonna get all y'all contact info. I'm gonna hit
Thanks for
everybody up.
hanging.
We gotta make some shit
Thank you
happen.
for
Thank
coming
you
on
having
the
me.
show for the
Yes.
season premiere. You're the first guest of season 2.
And shit,
high
this time
stakes.
flew by too. I had a great time.
You said you'd be on 45 minutes, and we stole an extra hour of your
We
life.
exceeded that by an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I had a great time. I'll be in contact with all of you.
Cool.
And,
We'll make sure that you never have a great time on this show again. After
It's
that.
gonna be terrible next time.
Damn, that's
Trust
not.
me.
We like to do hot. And
Don't
cold,
do me
so
like
next
that,
one will be
man.
awful.
Don't do me like that.
Well, now
All right, I'll take
you're
it
already in, so we
Yeah.
don't need to pretend next time. So
Yeah. Thanks,
All right.
Jackson. Really
Have a good
appreciate
night.
you hanging out.
Thank you.
See you around, sir.
Take care. Yeah, that was great. Episode
It was.
53. Great guest. Great conversation.
this show is in the AARP club.
Might as well be. I started reading from that bulletin last night, and I put my glasses on first. And I was like, "Oh, how did this look? I got to clip this for TikTok." And then I was like, no, I don't.
If you want to feel a lot younger, Michael Sheen, the actor, I just learned is a couple years older than certainly anyone here. Now that I'm live, I'm forgetting his actual age, like 56 or something. And I did not know of anything he was in until literally last year, and now he's like my favorite actor.
Oh, yeah. He's done some great stuff. I like looking at those TikToks or whatever, videos online where they show actors from 70s TV and they go, this guy was 40. Like Red Fox was 40 when he was doing
Isn't that
Sanford and
nuts?
Son. I'm doing
People
great
used to-
for 50,
Yeah.
according to that shit.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, you'll see a picture of quote unquote like young Humphrey Bogart and be like, here he is at 25, and he's like, he looks like the knight from The Last Crusade.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Cigarettes do
harsh.
a lot of
you
damage to people.
chose wisely. But no, I mean, look, honestly, what day of the week is my birthday? I just want to make sure it's not a Wednesday because that's going to be crazy.
Thursday.
How well do
Tuesday.
I
Friday.
remember your birthday? Is your birthday December? Wait a second.
10th.
15th. 1-5.
10th.
10th.
Good one, Andrea. Andrea's had me on her show for my birthday. Pretty cool. So here's the thing. And the closer I
Same
get, the
birthday
more
as Doom. That's how I remember it, by the way.
okay, there you go. Well, the closer I get, the because I've always been like,
To be clear, it's not affection for you.
Yeah,
right,
I don't give a shit about you.
I was like, this isn't a big deal. Fuck 50, it doesn't matter. But the closer it gets, the more you're like, milestone. I mean, it is an achievement at least to get 50 years in on anything. And this will be the only thing I've done for 50 years straight is be alive. But like, I mean, that's something. It's not for nothing. And if you think about it, I haven't had the opportunity to do anything else for 50 years yet. So like that starts now, right? So like next year I can say maybe like, oh, I haven't sucked my thumb for 50 years or whatever it is, right? But there's it. You can feel it. You can feel it coming now. I can feel it. It's like, it's not a thing.
Is it like when it gets really humid outside and you just start to like kind of sweat a little bit and you feel sticky?
I'm 50 now. It doesn't have to be the exact day. What's the difference between right now and like 6 weeks or whatever? Nothing, right?
Like,
so
I've been saying I'm 40 to like random people for like 3 years because I'm closer there. No, believe it or not. But I truly don't remember where I am because I feel exactly the way Matt does. It's just like you're a zone. At a certain point, you get in a zone. But I also know what you mean. Like when the actual day is coming, you're like, I gotta acknowledge it.
I feel like
the thing has to happen.
50 might, some people could go, whoa, you're halfway. And then I'm like, halfway? Another 50? Fuck yeah, man. I just had the greatest 50 years of my life. You're going to give me 50 more after I figured everything out? Come on.
Bonus points.
This is going to be great.
Also, I got to toss this out there. I've never agreed with that general logic. First of all, when you're a baby, your brain is not recording any information. Second of all, when you're a kid, you're not experiencing things in the same way an adult is with a complete adult's understanding.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying now that I figured everything out.
Wow.
I mean, life doesn't really begin until you're, maybe, I don't know,
hypnosis
28. Let's just say randomly, let's just throw that number out there for no reason.
I think basically I raged in my 20s. And then in my 30s, I was like, I better make up for that. And then by the time I got to 40, I was like, none of that matters. Starts now. And then the 10 years between 40 and 50 have just been fucking glorious. And which is something everyone should make a note of. There is no like, oh no, I'm old. That isn't a thing. You aren't old. I don't think anyone gets old. I think you have the ability to use that to your advantage.
Other people, they just get way too young.
Yeah, way better to be sincerely old than forcing yourself to be young or just young at all. I don't like young, if I'm frank. I don't get along with very young.
You would not do well in the Libertarian Party. Let's just put it that way.
I just want everyone to have a good time without tripping on other people. The Good Liars, or it wasn't the Good Liars. Somebody interviewed this kid, had a Trump flag on like a cape, and he was at a rally. And he's like a kid.
I saw this video. 18. Yep.
And they were like,
man,
lost
in the sauce.
Who would you rather be friends with, a liberal or an immigrant? And he goes, oh,
Ooh,
He's like, gotta go with
that's
the
a real
liberal.
tough one.
Yeah, and then
Well, at least liberals were born here.
some random lady comes along and he goes, I just asked him this question. What do you think he answered? And she was like, he probably said liberal. And it was like, oh my God, what's wrong with you people? Like that. I hate the question. I get why you were asking him. It wasn't like a right winger talking to a right winger by any means, but like you're missing out on your youth. By worrying about who the fuck is a liberal.
Fucking 15-year-old self to Donald Trump. Mother, you can't even vote for him, and you're walking out there with your "Make America Great Again" hat. Give me a goddamn break.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be friends with? I love the idea that like this guy is going to obviously have many choices of friendship in his life. Like, yeah, I can be friends with anyone I want. A liberal, an immigrant. It's a buffet of possible friends.
I should only hang out with people like me. And who have the same political beliefs. Like, what? I don't know, man. I think back on all the friends I had growing up, it was such a diverse group of people. None of us would ever say, I have plenty of black friends. Some of my best friends are black or Mexican. Nobody would ever say anything like that. It's so silly. We were just friends. We were just all friends.
I gotta be honest. I don't see the fault in I feel almost the exact opposite. Like to me, it's very strange that they're answering the liberal. It's very sad that they're answering the liberals because I would be fine if they were like, oh, well, immigrant, obviously. But like, because I don't want to hang out with Republicans. Fuck them. As a person in the same room together, I don't like them.
That wasn't my point. My point was that he is thinking about it in terms of everyone should be Republican like me. Do you see what I'm saying?
The element of that specifically bums me out.
He was like a literal minor.
Is that this literal minor is a bigot. Like he's just like, oh, I definitely wouldn't want to hang out with a gross, dirty immigrant because all immigrants are people I hate. Because immigrating, like there's
a higher percentage chance that the immigrant would actually get along with them than a liberal. That's the funny part.
Yeah, but what he should have said was, that's a stupid question. I don't discriminate against people because their politics or where they're from. Like there is no choice to be made in that. That's what I'm saying. There's no right answer there.
I mean, I do absolutely discriminate.
You disagree with that? You think there's a right answer?
I walk around, I see people, I discriminate,
You're
I say,
15 and somebody says, Jake, would you rather be friends with a Republican or an immigrant? You think there's like, I would be like, 100%. What do you ask me that?
Is the correct
I'll be friends with an immigrant. Yeah, I'll answer that.
Yeah. I mean, what's the
Republicans? Give me a break.
Someone who
both. Then I'd say both. What are you talking about?
Like,
fair enough. Good. You're a better man than I.
This sounds like the exact opposite of what Jake has been trying to give us on this show, and that we have to convince these people to work with us and win them over. This is like this is a little too. I'll be this guy this time.
But not when the podcast is over. I don't want to be nice to them. I don't want them in my house. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, it 100% aligns. I think that we have stated mutual interests, and I also think that we have unstated mutual interests. I think there's things that the left offers that the right will appreciate. I think we should be able to make a reasonable case, but like, are we going to hang out together? Even is the average show I do going to appeal to these people? Hell no. Because
I can hang out with people who vote Republican as long as, or who are conservative, as long as they aren't total racist at the same time. And I think you can be without being racist, and politics doesn't come up. You talk about literally anything else. That's totally possible. You know what I mean? It's not like I would say you're Republican, fuck off. I would never do that. But if somebody's like,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play the card.
Okay.
I'm gonna play the card. I think you can only do that because you're not trans or gay or anything. Like,
true.
I mean,
totally true.
I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out. I'm
Matt with his privilege. We haven't thrown anybody under the bus in a while. I miss. Hello, bus. Matt and his privilege.
This is the whitest show I've ever seen in my life.
Then I made this case off air. I'm a white male. I'm the last one they'll come
Yeah.
for, which means I have the
Hashtag I'm the
longest.
white male. You can
I'm
sell
the
that
last one they'll come for, which means I have the longest opportunity to stay in this fight. You see what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
truth be told, if I was giving advice to people, be more like Matt than like your old pal Jake. That's actually useful. If you have a Republican friend, you have a friend who you can change the mind of.
Maybe.
He is correct here, if we're being honest.
I just lead by example. I don't know if
What would I
that's
answer?
gonna change their mind. I'm not really setting out to do that, but if I can show them that, and number one, I'm not a fucking liberal. I would almost not want to hang out with a liberal over everybody. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I would
I
rather
hate
hang out with a
people.
Republican
Watching the
than like a
DNC really makes me hate liberals. Like, just like
yeah.
I said this before, but it's like the idea that anybody you see the DNC when they're doing the roll call and everyone's like spinning the bull and they're like, woo! The idea that anyone could possibly even because they're all pretending, but like,
dare
how
you
do
woo
you
with the
even
DNC?
pretend to enjoy Democrats that much? Like, I mean, like how
When they're
like
throwing you out for having like any sort of like, what was the one person who had a T-shirt, something like "End Genocide" or "Save Gaza" or something like that, but she was like holding up the
Yep.
Kamala wall signs and she was doing everything right, but because of the shirt, they were like, "You're out of here."
But yeah,
That's
that's
yeah,
crazy,
too
man.
sassy.
Liberals, they're on a whole nother planet when it comes to the whole. I mean, like, I get the Trump thing and a little bit more. I get it a little bit more because it's like, they feel like it's a big conspiracy. We have the secret knowledge, but like liberals, they feel like they're popular. That's the thing that's crazy about it, is they think that their ideas are popular. They just
We must disabuse them of such notions in coming years. I'm looking forward to the new fight. I'm ready to be done with the old one. I think that's really what it comes down to. America, I think, has seen all it needs to see to be done with the Republican Party, and I'm here for it, man. One opportunity's coming up.
I feel like we should be
Can't
done
wait.
with the Democratic Party too, but
Yep.
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 Dan from the internet was live. One of these days, I want to get somebody who's live and merge shows.
How would we do that?
I don't. We just got to keep our eye open for it, but there must be a way, right, Andrea? Stream key.
Yeah. Well,
Think
here's the
about it.
thing.
just send them a link.
Theoretically,
He's
what he
already
could do
live.
Well, he
is
would just have to like keep being live and just not stop.
All right. Somebody told me the other day that what you could do is accept an invite, but keep your own StreamYard open and then screen share to your channel the link.
Yeah.
With I don't know.
That's
I
awesome.
forget what they said now.
You could probably figure that out in real time pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm down for trying that, especially with one of our goofy internet friends.
Okay,
especially Dan from the internet if he's ever up again.
New to my chat, newly modded tonight.
What are these people?
No,
Am I these people?
I just want to explain because there was also someone in my chat saying, "Where's John from San Antonio?" Right? I don't know if that was the same person or not, but anyway, I think that as far as political typology, I fall on the spectrum as a progressive more often than not. What I am for is basic human rights for everyone in this country. Equity, equality, a livable wage, a meaningful job, health insurance, access to quality healthcare, that kind of stuff, free college, and mass incarceration. I think this is me being biased, but I think that a liberal would say, I want more government funded programs. Meaning, is there any transparency there? I think a liberal would say, vote blue no matter who, beat Trump. Well, without Trump, what are you fighting against? Are you fighting for anything? I think that's where liberals end up. I think that they aren't completely informed on what it means to be even a little further left. Does that make? Am I being unfair?
The thing, I'm not a liberal either. the thing I'm closest. There's a lot of wind up for a small joke. The thing I'm closest to would be like a democratic socialist, which means I think that there should be some programs that we socialize that other countries already have, such as healthcare. Whereas I think we should keep capitalism for most other things. But I want to expand what the government pays for. And a liberal
all good, Jeff.
thinks, for example, a liberal would be like,
Yeah. I think liberals are just like,
I'm just
they did
upset.
Biden dirty. And ooh, Kamala, she's Mamala. You know what I mean? Whereas the rest of us are like, okay, we got to fight here. We're going to have to get in this, and we're going to have to push some real good policy.
Liberals like big business, and they also believe in the fundamental rights of human beings. So we often vote with liberals, but I don't like that they basically allow millionaires to thieve from us and make excuses for them. A lot of the reason that folks who are not on the left think that the left is dishonest is because we are judged by Democrats, i.e. liberals, i.e. not who the majority of the left is.
And they're typically pretty comfortable
in
their lifestyle. And unlike, I'm comfortable in my lifestyle, but I hate that, whereas they love it and they just want to keep acting like everything's not as bad as they say it is. And it is, and it's going to get worse. And that, don't just fight against something, fight for something. I mean, somebody called me a liberal one day.
Really well put.
And I got so pissed off for like weeks after that. I banned them immediately. I found them all over social media and banned them and blocked them.
Oh, God.
And was like, fuck off, man. Do not call me a liberal. Somebody said I was a pro-genocide clown the other day. Pro-genocide clown shit is what they called me. And I just kind of like blocked them. And I was like, they're just misunderstood. But call me a liberal? You ought to know better.
Yeah.
I'd rather be accused of being pro-genocide than be accused of being a liberal for goddamn sake. Put that on a caffeine t-shirt. What is this chopstick in the tie thing? What is that?
I don't know. I'm going for something.
You're just okay. Well, it's something.
He's losing it.
Yeah. Oh,
After
I
midnight.
am. I'm getting not. It's not even time based, or it's not
12:07
time of the
a.m.
day
on the East
based.
Coast.
It's time on the calendar based. I'm getting twitchy. I'm so ready for this election to be over, and I'm so
I can't wait,
angry.
for the
Dude.
fucking haze to lift.
Here's the thing. This is what I used to tell people at work. They'd say, it's getting so busy, I'm losing my shit. And I'm like, well, what do you do when it's not busy if you aren't preparing for the busy time? Jake, this is not where you lose your shit. This is where you switch into pro mode. Do you know what I mean? This is where all that time leading up to this moment should have been preparation for this moment.
Emphasis on should. Maybe next time.
Easier said than done.
It's
Easier
super
said than
useful
done.
advice for the middle of a thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
super
can
useful
do it.
advice
And
3
some
weeks,
waters.
2 weeks before the election, man.
You can do it. This is where we need to just buckle down and focus. You can lose it a little bit as long as you regroup tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Just do some self-care and
I don't want to
reanalyze,
destroy
reevaluate.
anybody, but we have 2 more shows of this before the election. 2.
Holy wow.
Yeah, and then election night or the day after the election is going to be a fun show because if we do it, it's going to be remote.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we need to do it, but it's going to be a remote location. I'll be in Brooklyn, New York.
Well, the whole goddamn show is remote. It's always remote.
Yeah, but I won't be at home. I'll be in a hotel.
A seedy hotel.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go into like a spare, nook in the back of the little.
We should all go to a local bar
or
coffee shop.
I'm not gonna go around people.
Like that.
I'll get my little cave that I crawled out in the woods.
Oh, the one with the free hugs sign out front.
Well, it used to be out front, but we had some people that They weren't good people. Let's just put it that way. So
Ooh,
it's no longer there.
now you charge for the hugs.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
Because you know those people that come, they try a sample and then they come by a bunch of times and they're like, "Oh, he's still."
can't. No, yeah, it's just
I can't be out here hugging.
no
all day.
repeats. Can I announce I'm doing an election stream? Am I allowed to announce that?
I don't know, Jake. What do you think?
I mean, let me check with my
Go
lawyer.
ahead. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to announce it. I'll wait till next week. To
Okay.
announce it.
I
So
want
you're
to
just
show
checking
you
Steve,
guys
okay.
something. I want to show you something that I think you'll get more than I get. Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting it set up here. Okay.
The filmography of Joanna Angel.
Nah, do you know? But you'll get this. I think I know what it's called, but I always mess this shit up. So let me show you this. Yeah, just watch this.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Super
pretty-
Saiyan?
Yes.
Okay.
I would argue that that's a level beyond, if I dare say.
I mean, he's gonna ruin that toy, but I think it was worth it.
He's
Oh,
the
that is not a
legendary
toy.
Super
That
Saiyan.
is a figure designed for action.
Action figure. My bad. I know what those
Stipulate
are.
Limbs articulate. Now that's the
Very important.
since I was a kid, I have stood by this because I used to insist that my toys were called action figures unless the limbs didn't articulate, in which case it was not right to call it an action figure.
It's just a figure.
It's a doll. No, it's just a doll then.
All right, doll works.
Hey, did you see there was a guy there's like a trade show for Israeli weapons manufacturers?
Oh, we're talking about Israel. Are we shifting into the Israel?
Well, no,
portion of
did
the
you see
program?
the guy who went around looking for baby shredders? Fucked up. He was. Do you want to watch this clip?
Wait, baby
Yeah.
shredders? I would love to watch a clip about shredding
And
babies.
baby
Please let me-
killing technology.
Yes, I would
Oh,
love
that's
to see
amazing.
I would love to
was-
hear about
yeah.
this.
This is the
I just
hero
want
we
to
deserve.
reiterate for the audience, I am in favor of post-birth abortion. Donald Trump keeps scaremongering about it. I'm what he's telling you to be afraid of. I'm in favor of that.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yep. I
All
can
right.
see Israel
Here we
doing
go.
what they do best. What do we got?
Sir, we're looking for the baby killing technology. Do you know where we can get the baby killer? Do you have the latest baby killing technology, sir? We're trying to shred babies. You guys have the baby shredding tech? Baby shredding tech. You have the baby shredding tech, man?
I'm just trying to find out who here.
Excuse me, guys. We're looking for the baby
kills all
killing
the babies.
technology. Do you have it? Sir, baby killing tech. We want to shred babies to bits.
I like how he
Can you
points
help
to
us?
a guy. He's like, "Oh, that's the guy."
Oh yeah, that's
Guys,
the
we're
guy.
looking for the baby killing technology. Is this we heard this is the baby killing section? You have the baby shredding. They shred babies up to
He's
pieces.
loving it.
Sir, do you shred baby? Sir, don't touch my phone, sir. I don't care what you want, sir. I didn't ask what you want, sir.
Pages.
I don't care what you
Yeah.
Pretty
Care what
standard.
you-
Pretty standard trade show
That was awesome. I love the
personalities.
ending.
I've been to a lot of those trade shows, not weapons for clothing and stuff like that in comics, but pretty much always get people who are like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm happy to talk to anybody. Come on." But then when that guy says that, they're like, "Fuck." They're just completely caught off guard. Anyway,
Oh man.
ballsy, right?
I don't care what
Get
you
your ass
want.
kicked
I
in
did
there.
not ask.
Where I wonder where that was.
It was in Israel, obviously. No,
I
I don't know where it was. That's what the sign said.
Well, so when you go to these big trade shows,
Israel.
like I went to this massive trade show in Germany where this is where they sell all the new soccer balls, the new footballs, the new treadmills, the new basketball hoops. And there's certain aisles that are like, this is China, Japan, Korea, Australia. And they have different aisles for different manufacturers by nation. Do you want to see
So what you're
another?
saying is Israel has colonized this trade show?
No,
It
that's
is
probably
putting up
just
their
their
flag and
section.
sign and saying this is ours now?
Everyone's
shit.
manufacturing weapons. It's ugh.
Listen, here's what happened. Before we move on, we should just clarify. What happened was the Palestinian trade show had somebody throw a hot dog at Israel's trade show, and then Israel's trade show went in and took all of the Palestinian stuff, and then they said, "Hey, Lebanese trade show, we're gonna actually start expanding there too."
But that's why they have the Israel sign up real high, so that you can see it from across the convention center.
So you can see you're way out there, and you're like,
You
"Oh,
go,
that's
Israel
where
over
Israel
there."
is. Let's go."
Yeah, I've been to
So
trade shows
wait,
like that.
or alternatively, that's where Israel is. Let's go this way.
Yeah,
Let's go the
they
other
were
way.
pretty empty over there. There's a lot of salesmen, not a lot of sales.
Well, it might have been the way that guy got in. It might have been like early because there was not a lot of foot traffic in the aisles, and that is rare. But there's like a big one in Munich, Germany, where they put like snowboarding inside, like in the middle, and there's just guys like snowboarding on this fake snow hill. It's awesome. Do you want to see the Laura Trump boat parade? The MAGA
Yeah.
boat.
Oh yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Surprise participants. This is when they say like, "Hey, okay, fine."
But is it that much of a surprise?
Republicans are
at
not
this point.
These are Republicans.
Oh, it's a great thumbnail.
Yep.
Here we go.
That's who you are, Republicans.
Yeah, white power. Hell, Trump.
You guys.
Yeah.
Oh, why did it stop?
Like, this is the sort of
Make
thing
America
where I
white
could
again.
understand just ramming their boat with your boat.
We're out
It's
here in
worth losing
Jupiter,
your boat
loving it,
for
loving the
them to
good weather,
potentially
blue skies.
drown.
Make America white. They see that
Oh,
sign,
let me
brother.
catch
They
this
see that
motherfucker.
sign.
Boom.
So, if you think
That's
Mike
wonderful.
Lindell's cool, that's who you're hanging out with. If you're voting
Moms
for
of Liberty.
Republicans,
Sure.
that's who you're hanging out with. Yeah, if you ever saw what Moms for Liberty was up to and thought, "Oh, they're very much like me," this is who you're like. Your grandfather would have shot you to death with a Tommy gun. Ha ha ha. Good.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much.
If
It's
you
like
vote
those
Republican now,
cartoons when like the character steps in front of a mirror, but like then the contorted version of who they really are inside is on the other end of the mirror, you know, with the spiky hair and the evil eyes.
your
That's basically
grandfather
what that is, you know.
would have loaded an M1 Garand and shot you at Normandy. Because that's who Republicans are now. Just so you know. Now you know. You might have not known before now, but now you know. Mother. Sorry. I'm going to chill. Not a surprise, though. Like, is anybody surprised that Nazis just felt comfortable showing up there? I'm glad they at least had the decency.
Speaking of Nazis, can we talk about David Duke, Jill Stein? Does anyone want to talk about that? Do we have any Jill Stein voters in chat? Any Jill Stein voters? David Duke's on your team. How's it going?
It's almost like, why would David Duke do that though?
Yeah, what did Jill Stein do
I
to
don't
What
earn
does
that
he get out of
endorsement?
it?
really
What
don't
did
know.
she do? I'm curious.
That's weird, right?
That's a
'Cause
good question.
is he
frankly.
trying to? Is he an agent of chaos? Like, I was like, why did he?
The only reason I can imagine he would do that is to. Well, all right, I can think of two reasons. So he would either be trying to help Trump get elected because he knows what a freak he is, or he would be trying to launder his own image because he sees this era ending. David Duke came from an era where it was okay to be part of the Klan, and then he survived an era where it wasn't okay, and now he's back in an era where it's okay to be part of the Klan, as long as you call it MAGA. and now I'm hoping he's reading the tea leaves and saying, I better launder my image again. So that's my theory.
Well, there's a bunch of Jill Stein guys, and I know everyone in the chat who, it's the Bernie Bros narrative. I know, hey, but I'm just saying, many people are saying there's a bunch of Jill Stein guys that are going like, hey, David Duke is not so bad. What did he do? They're so bad. That's what they're saying. Many people.
There's
And
a lot
I know
of
it's not all
comments.
of them. I know.
There's a lot of comments. And you never know who these anonymous accounts are, but or if they're just faking being somebody.
If
but
only the Green Party had elected leadership of any kind that had any notoriety that could maybe dispel any of these rumors, but they're not a real political party, so
well, there's a lot of like, hear me out comments like the Klan was bad. I agree, but David Duke isn't that bad. And it's like, are you kidding me? First of all, the Klan should be spoken about in the present tense, not the past tense. It's not like it's gone away.
Yeah.
Second of all, are you really that up to speed on David Duke? And like, I'm reading through these comments, and some of these people are like, I guess he has a show or something.
Oh,
And they're
Oh, that's
listening to him on a regular basis, and they're like, he makes a lot of great points. And it's like, look, there are people who aren't racist making a lot of great points that you can listen to. I don't know
That's
why
true.
you're
That's
relying
true.
on this guy who's 90%, 99% fucked up. It's like when they go, I gotta give him credit. Marjorie Taylor Greene is right about. You don't have to give anybody credit. That's not, where's that written that we have to give people credit? And they say, oh, broken
Speaking
clock
of-
is right. It's not a broken clock. It's a human being.
If you're a villain played by Topher Grace in a movie, and you're watching that guy's podcast, that that things have gone awry. Sorry, Andrea, what were you gonna say?
Well, I mean, I was gonna mention, I forgot my segue to this, so I'm just gonna do it brutally because
yeah,
Jake,
brutalize.
destroyed the segue.
I ruined it.
Just like Office Space and the printer just destroyed that bitch, right? Gone for good. But I wanted to bring up that we were talking about political labels earlier. And I just wanted to say that I want to announce, I did not announce my political label earlier.
Oh.
Everyone was saying I'm a progressive, I'm a socialist.
What are
I
you?
abstained because I just wanted to say
Anarchist.
I'm unaligned. I am proud to say I'm
Same as.
unaligned and independent as well. That's part of it. Very important part. I'm independent. And arguably more importantly, actually, I'm unaligned. I would like to just make that announcement. I thought it would be brave of me to do that on this show. And with that announcement, I would also like to say I do regret. Well, I regret a lot of things, but we did not have this show back in 2020. But if we did, I regret that we didn't run the Hunter Biden laptop story. I feel like we really should have run that. If we were here in 2020, we
How do
really
you know
should
we
have run
wouldn't
that.
have?
Oh, well, we didn't. I know we didn't.
We are
That
right
I
now.
do know. Well,
Yeah.
that's not important because I'm already unaligned.
Breaking news: Hunter
independent.
Biden has a huge hog.
Well, that's one of the reasons why my alignment is it's in awry at this moment.
Sam Cedar was doing coverage of that JD Vance interview recently where they said, do you think that Donald Trump won or lost the 2020 election? And he goes, I'm going to answer that question with a question. Why do you think the Democrats blocked us being able, or the Department of Justice blocked us being able to do the Hunter Biden laptop thing? And Sam was like, okay, the very next question should be, Mr. Vance, please tell us, how would showing Hunter Biden's penis help Donald Trump get votes? What are you talking about, dude?
Oh yeah.
How would that have helped him win the election? Like, why are you bringing that up? It's so weird.
A fine point, but I would have preferred to. I'm going to answer your question with a question myself. Why can you not answer the question? Because it's devastating. Because your boy participated in a coup.
Because if it were up to him, he wouldn't do what Mike Pence did.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah, that's what
he's a traitor.
signaling.
He's a traitor.
Do you want to see? Okay, only because Andrea hates showing clips on this show. I have two clips lined up.
I make fun of it.
Do you want to?
I love the clips.
We
Give me
could
more.
watch Colin Allred
Oh, I'd rather not.
against Ted Cruz. Just a
Ooh.
clip.
Ooh.
And there's something at the end that made me go, "What? You just ruined it." And then
The only thing I know about that guy, one, bald, and I hate to say it, but two, threw trans people under the bus. I also hate to say it. That's why I brought up the bald.
I feel like
football player.
I feel like there's a degree of I can be as Republican as you, dude, but I'm better than like as a Democrat, I'm a better
lame.
Republican than you. You know what I mean? There
I mean,
might be a
that's
degree
kind
of
of
that.
true, though.
But I want, I know, unfortunately, but I want, I want people to win on our values. But anyway, I do want to see Ted Cruz lose, and it was humiliating, this clip. So anyway, we don't have to watch it.
Yeah, no, let's
Do
put
you
it
want
on.
to? Because I have another one we
Absolutely.
can watch too. Okay.
We got to raise awareness for. No, never mind.
Anyone here from Texas should be voting this way anyway, I assume. But let me check the volume. Here we go. Can everyone see that? Their faces look kind of funny here. Well, Ted Cruz always looks funny.
Oh, yeah. Hey, baby, do it. Dang it.
I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny. Because you're a threat to democracy.
Good man.
Sure. I was on the House floor when we went through the votes. I remember when you objected to the results in Arizona. Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was, and I know where he was. I remember when they told us to reach under our seats for these gas masks. I didn't know we had, because they had deployed tear gas in the rotunda. The officers locked all the doors. We barred the doors the president walks through to deliver the State of the Union with furniture that we usually use to hold paper. And I texted my wife, Allie, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Cameron, and at home with our son, Jordan, who wasn't yet 2. Whatever happens, I love you. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't. This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins. If for the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority.
The Liz Cheney thing at the end, it's like, hey, dude, you're doing pretty good. That broom closet line was pretty slick.
Oh,
that's why Liz Cheney endorsed me. Why is everyone bringing up Liz?
Smart.
She's not in. What'd you say? It's smart.
Yes.
Okay, dude. You're just being contrary now. That's not.
Oh,
okay, is it smart?
Look at Jake. Look at
Tell
this.
me why
He
it's
grew out
smart.
the mustache just for this. He's gonna start twirling it right now.
It's smart. Yeah. No,
I went in the bathroom
and
I covered my nose and I blew out as hard as I can. Just
okay,
to get
real
more
quick,
mustache
real quick, Jake. Are you saying that there are people at home going, "How come no one's touted the Liz Cheney?"
If he didn't, I would have.
Oh shit!
No, but I'm saying, are you
saying
saying that voters in Texas are like, why isn't anyone bringing up Liz Cheney? This is so wrong. I would vote for him if he would. No, I'm saying,
not supposed to make you happy.
Okay, I'm trying. It's
Oh,
not
go ahead.
about me. It's about Texas. I'm trying to figure out why he would bring up Liz Cheney in Texas running against Ted Cruz. What's the value to getting more votes, to garnering more votes on his side?
Republicans who think they are reasonable. They're not because they're Republicans, but Republicans who think they are reasonable. There are a group of Republican voters who think MAGA is crazy, and they're right for that. And they saw January 6th, and they're like, oh, that's not cool. And you should be hammering home the fact that the Republicans running right now cannot coast off of the reputation of being a sane political party. They never were, but they had a reputation of being a sane political party. The Republicans running now are not that, and that case has to be made again and again. Liz Cheney made it very easy to make that case, and It came at no price. It's the only decent thing she's ever done in her whole life, as far as I'm concerned. Is stand
And she
against these
personally
votes.
gets no concessions for it. I
No,
said that
yeah,
before.
and so that it's just smart strategy. You
Okay, but
you shave off Ted Cruz votes.
Here's where
Liz
I'm just
Cheney
gonna go in
belongs
on
to a
you for a
family
second,
that
though.
did steal an election. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, I mean,
is
these
they're
people are fucked up.
embracing people that stole an election as a way to counter people that tried to steal an election. Doesn't really make any fucking sense to me. I don't know.
So here's the thing, Jake. I feel like I never know where you're going to go with this, because on the one hand, we should be trying to win them over. On the other hand, fuck them. We can't be friends with them. And it's smart to reference Liz Cheney because we get their votes. This is where I feel
These
like
are all internally completely consistent. We should be winning.
no, but
the
I'm saying
political
obviously
battle.
I don't see that is
Yeah,
my point.
but-
So
but-
saying that doesn't help me
But I've
realize.
said it. I've explained it before. I'll take another whack at it because I've done a poor job. Clearly, there's a difference between allying with someone politically and being their friend, or even being their entertainer, for that matter. I will certainly not be the last two with Republicans, and just because I can't, I'm not capable of it. It doesn't mean we don't necessarily align politically on some issues, and I would argue on some rather fundamental issues, like whether or not the country we live in should be a democracy. And I think mixing those up, is a real problem for any political party, but especially the left. We shouldn't be like, oh, I despise Liz Cheney, and so I must reject every gift she gives.
No, I'm not even saying that, because I don't know if it's not smart for Kamala Harris to do it. I don't really care if she does it or not. At the end of that debate segment where he has clearly owned his opponent, he added that. And you think that is like a cherry on top? Because I think it's not valuable. Like, it's like, okay, dude. Maybe they were talking about it already, and that's why he brought it up. I haven't seen the whole debate.
He's trying to create a sound clip, basically, where he can take as many votes away from Ted Cruz as he possibly can. In just talking about it in terms of strategy, in that sound clip, I don't think he was trying to build votes for himself. He was trying to take them away from Cruz. So he's like, Cruz is a coward. Facts. Liz Cheney, who is as right as you get, doesn't support this guy. Facts. It's because all the through line there was because he's a traitor. Facts. He made that point, I thought, very well, and I thought that Liz Cheney was an appropriate mention at the end there, especially since the goal was to take away, really not even get them to vote for Allred, but get moderate Republicans to say, I'm not going out to vote today.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a case where this would not be the same. Mike Lindell is like, you know what? I was fucking wrong. Trump is horrible. He tried to.
Could I?
He duped me.
I hate to interrupt you, Letterhack, but can I do an impression of somebody who, let's just say, like, they're watching the debate, and they're an undecided voter, right? One of my favorite groups of people, and they're watching this debate, and they hear whatever that guy's name is, Allred. He's wearing a blue suit, so it's clearly not true. And they're watching him bring up Liz Cheney. So this is what the average reaction will be of people watching that debate when they hear Liz Cheney. All right.
I think
she got us good.
That's the average person who is it going to deter Democrats from voting for him or just sitting it out? Because Andrew's talking about undecided voters. Is it going to be like, oh, well, fuck this guy? Might as well have Ted Cruz in there.
No, because an undecided voter, then if they're an undecided
talking
voter
about normies.
who leans Democrat, then they don't have any idea what he's talking about with Liz Cheney. And
so
if
what if it was
undecided
Mike
voter,
Lindell?
If
who
it
started,
was,
who started endorsing Democrats, and he's like, and that's why I'm proud to have Mike Lindell's endorsement. Like, I'm trying to think of like when you would be like, dude, no, just
there. I mean,
send him a little note that says thanks and don't bring it up.
It would be David Duke, actually. I wouldn't brag about that. I
Yeah.
would brag about the Mike Lindell thing, and the reason why is kind of the same as Liz Cheney. It's somebody who was known publicly to be part of the same, I don't know,
I hear you.
political group who has left that group because it's too crazy.
I just think it's personally what I don't like about politics. I wish that it was just a thing where everyone was trying to do the right thing and not create these like
Yeah,
fucking weird alliances that just drive home the fact that it's a small club and we're not in it, but we're supposed to vote for them.
yeah. This era has got to end, and I think we're seeing the very end of it. Because I'm there with you 100%. In a sane campaign, if Democrats weren't just relabeled Republicans, essentially slightly nicer Republicans, or at least in terms of packaging, then yeah, it would be like, why the fuck is Liz Cheney even a thing? But in this case, it is talking about an actual coup. Like
One more
we have
question.
to deal with this.
One more
Yeah.
question for you.
Yeah.
I don't know this or not. I just came up with this hypothetical.
Mhm.
What do you think? Because what we're really trying to do here is I think there's more value in getting people who don't vote to participate and come out for Democrats than just trying to like scrape for Republicans to come over to our side. I think there's more people out there, more potential to get a larger group if you go for the undecided and the people who are just trying to sit it out by saying Liz Cheney, ew. Do you think that would then people would be like, yeah, fuck Liz Cheney. Okay, I'll vote for Harris. Or do you
Not at
think that yeah, let's bring Liz Cheney out on stage and maybe we'll get some Republican votes? Like, what do you think is more
No,
valuable?
and it would discourage others, like other quote unquote normie Republicans.
I mean, in theory, they're trying to get Republicans to vote for them who currently won't, right?
I mean, I think that's what they'll say in interviews, but I think the actual strategy is just to get them not voting for the traitors, basically.
Trying to get people to not participate.
Yeah. I mean,
This is a
I'm
fucking
okay with
known strategy. I can't stand it. It just
I mean,
so they're
it's one
saying I
thing-
got Liz Cheney's endorsement. I'm proud of it in the hopes that Republicans will be like, I won't vote for Republicans, but I'm
I mean,
also not
we
going to
can
vote for
nitpick
Democrats.
over whether or not he should have said he was proud of it. But I think mentioning that Liz Cheney, a very, very right-wing person, no longer supports this party should be done over and over and over again.
Okay, let's promise each other that we're going to try and figure out how many votes they got because of Liz Cheney, if possible. We have to be able to figure this out or I'll never be happy again. I need to know, wow, that made a difference, or well,
Let's
okay,
do it.
we hope they're going to get some votes from this. Otherwise, I don't know how many. I don't know. Did it make a difference? Who knows? Like,
Let's
I
do it from
really
the autopsy table as we are looking at the corpses of the
Yeah,
Republican
exactly.
and Democratic Party who died strangling each other, and we live in the utopia that exists without them.
I'm
I
so
can't wait
sick
for
of
them both to
people
be gone.
saying it makes sense and it's a smart move and not being able to say, told you, right? Like, at least give me the I told you so. At least be
And-
that annoying to follow through with the numbers later and go, see, Matt, you're a fucking dummy. Like, I really need that.
Well, wait a minute though. Because I don't see how I haven't convinced you of this. Like,
Of that, there are going to be
what
votes.
negative for all right, Colin Allred, he's a centrist Dem in Texas. What downside is there for mentioning the fact that
No, it's
Liz
just
Cheney
like-
doesn't support the other guy?
I kind of feel like that's what I mean. Like, it might not matter. And for all I know, Liz Cheney was part of a conversation that was going on during that debate. I haven't seen the whole thing, just that clip. So there might have been some other reason he brought it up. But I feel like the first thing that occurred to me was like, oh, he's just doing that because Harris did it. He's just bringing that up because Harris brought Liz Cheney out on stage. And it's like, this is what we're going to do this time is we got a Republican on our side. You guys, look, we can be Republican too. we're making alliances where Republicans do not make alliances like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like Liz Cheney's doing it because she
Yeah.
got voted out of office. Like
Well,
that's kind of safe for her, and she doesn't get anything out of it except some reform.
I
And
mean,
he's really not like a good guy, you know? Okay,
it makes
yeah,
me
Trump bad,
really nervous
obvious.
that the reason they did it isn't inherent. Because to me, and that just tells me that I might have interpreted it wrong, or they did a poor job of messaging. But to me, what it says is, look how crazy the Republicans that are left are. The Republicans that remain are. Look at how crazy they are. Liz Cheney doesn't support them. Dick Cheney, guy who put us into war for 20 years, doesn't support him.
I think
That's
they're
what it
just
says.
I think they're just more we are voting against Trump and not really voting for the things that matter. I
Yeah.
think they're supporting Harris because they're against Trump, and as soon as he's out, they go back to being Republican. It's like those guys who testified on, you know, for Liz Cheney, right? She requested it during the hearings for January 6th, and they testified against Trump. And then right away they said, you know, would you vote for him? And they're like, if he runs against Biden, hell yeah. And it's like, well, wait a second.
Well,
Guys
it's not
just
quite like
said, no, that's what it was. They sat there and said that Trump had done all this bad stuff and that he was responsible for the insurrection.
I know that happened.
And then as soon as they got in the hallway, they said, would you vote for him again? And they said, yeah.
The difference being
His name was Russell or something.
Yeah. And he got that's the same guy that got not only death threats, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy whose terminally ill child was getting harassed by
it's bad.
By MAGA. But it's not this like that though, because specifically she's not supporting Trump. And it
No, but I'm
says
saying she
so
would just
much.
go back to voting Republican, and that is,
Yeah.
as we
I see.
agreed,
But
not
then-
good. So without Trump,
yes,
she's
but,
not supporting.
But what are we
Democrats.
doing? Like we got to preserve the democracy for an election, and
yeah,
to have somebody come out making the case that these people are so extreme that even though our politics are from the same party, we don't support them.
Yeah, it
I
does
can't
always
think of
come
a
back to that.
better message than that.
I mean, under the circumstances, maybe not, but
to me, you know what this feels like? This feels like two dudes who are in a sinking ship, and all we have to plug the hole with is like different types of cake batter. We just have sacks of cake batter, and it's like debating.
I can
should we
tread
stuff
water
it
for
full of-
24 hours, my man.
Well, good for you. I can't.
No.
So I hope we plug this hole. And we're like, do we stuff it full of angel food cake or chocolate whatever cake? And it's like, man, we shouldn't have to deal with these problems.
No,
it sucks that we do.
It's angel food cake that is not past expiration date, or angel food cake that is past expiration date.
Yeah,
that's the more accurate analogy. Let's
really,
because there's nothing wrong with chocolate cake. Okay. Do you want to watch another clip, or are you tired?
Let's do one more. I'm a little tired, but let's do one more. I want to get an up feeling of some sort.
Look, I don't know what this is in reference to, but it's true. They put their whole catalog online at one point, and I was like, I'm young again. Okay.
Me too, by the way. I love De La Soul.
Yeah. This is Kamala Harris tonight on a Fox News interview making the case. I don't think she brings up Liz Cheney, just for the record.
Oh, look at those eyebrows, Bayer. Good Lord.
This guy is, I don't know. I'm not going to, yeah. I'm an artist. I've weaponized art so many times. Really trying not to make fun of the way people look, but you're on TV, my man. Okay. Check this out.
If he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States. Why is that happening?
This is a little
First of all, it's not half the country, but anyway.
election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
It's not supposed to be. It it is not supposed to be a
So are
cakewalk
they
for
misguided, the
anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What
oh
is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people.
I
In
would.
fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American
Hell yeah.
military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
he was asked about that.
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know.
Boom.
He has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America,
Hell
should
yeah.
be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask.
Yeah, he sure is.
That Bob Woodward, man. I said on Twitter, he's like a secret agent who, instead of reporting back to his superiors, waits and puts it in a book for profit.
Yes.
It's like, can you please let people know this shit when it happens, dude?
Real.
You got to pick out a book cover first. What the fuck?
Oh my God. It makes me appreciate Bernstein's role in the whole Nixon.
He wasn't just smoking cigarettes, but like I think the way she answered that was, it just made me go, finally, right? Because I think so many people would just be like, well, this is what they're giving me to work with. No. Don't work with that shit. Don't go for that shit. They are whitewashing that guy. They're lowering the bar. They're protecting him, and they're trying to do it right to her face, and she did not stand for it. I thought that was good.
I'll be as lefty as it gets here, as stereotypically lefty as it gets here. We got to find a way to get Fox News canceled. The FCC, I don't know how they're approving any licensing for this outfit, but Fox has got to go.
No one is invalidated anymore.
Yeah.
No one is disqualified anymore. I heard you.
Yeah.
You were talking about Al Franken last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the Democrats did that to him. They went at him and caused him to resign. And he was like, yeah, I fucked up. If he had waited a few months, it would have been like, no, those rules have been revised. No one fucks up anymore. Do what you want, basically. But to me, it's I wouldn't have watched, like, I'm not going to sit there and watch a Fox News interview, mainly because I feel like it's just going to be frustrating bullshit. But if every Democrat handled themselves the way that she did in that interview, do you think that they would continue to platform them or host them for town halls and interviews and stuff?
You know, I would say no. Like, my instinct is to say no, they wouldn't, because they'd be embarrassed. But Fox News is just, they do stuff like this so often, and they are in positions that would embarrass me so often, and they just keep on chugging. So I honestly don't know. My gut says no, they wouldn't, but
remember the
consequences.
Remember the Bernie Sanders Fox News town hall? And
Yeah.
we were all like, here you go, dude.
And for a few glorious moments there, we thought we had the antidote. To
That's how
Fox
you
News.
do it, man.
It is, but the problem is that you need to also have the politics to match. Because Bernie Sanders genuinely is trying to help everybody. He doesn't have to lie, so he can just go out there and spit.
That's what I
truth.
mean.
And
Like I
you'll
know a
never
lot
get-
of people who ended up voting for Trump and now are just totally in the cult. But
yeah,
they were like, "Oh my God, Bernie just sounds like you can't argue with this stuff." And then they chose Hillary instead, and they were like, "I mean, I'm definitely voting for Trump after that," you know? And it was like, "Fuck, really blew it." But that Bernie Sanders town hall, I think, came after that anyway. But my point is, yeah, populist doesn't have to be a dirty word.
not at all. Yeah, and
Just when somebody who's making sense.
I think that Jackson White earlier mentioned something which is valuable for us to chew on for a little bit here, which is that we got to get after the money. And I don't think it necessarily means that we have to make money personally, although, hey, give me money from your wallets, please. I would love money. But I do like if you have a strong progressive platform, generally speaking, you're of the belief, you have a theory of how that helps pretty much everybody in the economy. I think we should be going to small businesses like a grocery store, which comes to mind, or whatever, small businesses, and making the pitch for why people in the community having more money means you'll have more money, and climb our way up the chain like that. Because at the end of the day, the stuff you support, the stuff I support, it would make everybody wealthier. Like everybody we interact with on a daily basis, wealthier. And there's no reason why it should be that when you are a small business owner, which is so common, you tend to vote Republican. That's crazy to me. You're voting against your customers having more money to buy your products. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's like the whole tariffs thing. But, and the other thing I was thinking was like, you know why so many people actually know how tariffs work? Because Trump doesn't. And like this is giving everyone an opportunity to learn.
That's true, actually.
Like a couple even a year ago, people would be like, how do tariffs work?
It's like learning which way a knee's supposed to bend.
Right.
The hard way.
You're a good friend of mine. That's why I feel like we can have these conversations where I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? So I just want to make it clear for the audience that we are not at odds. And this is probably how more people should interact. As long as you understand afterwards, there's no lack of respect. Certainly not from me to you.
There's no
I totally disagree and am baffled by a lot of
well,
shit
obviously,
you say,
you're wrong, but I do appreciate. No, I live, dude. Honestly, that's what I miss in all this. Like, if we're to, I'm sorry, it's the end of the stream, but like, no, like, I'm culturally really a lefty. That's deep down. Like, I love the nitpicky little arguments. To me, that's where home is. And if I'm honest, for all summer I haven't had that, because there is no argument to be had. It's an obvious choice, and it's just a matter of convincing people that frankly don't give a shit to make the obvious choice. And I don't do well in this environment. I just don't. I want to do what we just did. I want to argue with lefties about the exact right policy and why, and we'll get back to it in a couple weeks.
I just wish we were talking about it and it wasn't in terms of, well, don't forget, this would be the end of democracy if they didn't endorse or if they didn't accept that endorsement. You know what I mean? Like, it just kills the debate.
What are we doing, America?
The fuck?
Hey, America, we made humans a species that fly. We went to the mothering moon. We split an atom and blew up a city. We shouldn't have. I feel bad about that, but we did it. Let's get ambitious again, America. Come on.
I think the funniest part of that is they thought that was going to end war. Talk about naive. A bunch of smart guys, very naive. Okay, I'll tell you another thing we're doing. you, myself, and probably Andrea will be on Annie Fitzgerald's Twitch stream this Friday.
Oh yeah.
At it starts at I guess 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We are jumping on there at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. God, that 3 hours just really throws me. But anyway, let's just stick to East Coast. We'll be on there at 10 p.m. East Coast, the three of us. I'm not sure Sandy can make it because she does a show on Fridays, but we'll be there. And I encourage everyone watching now and everyone who's watching this later, because I know you will. There'll be new people watching over the next 48 hours. Come hang out with us Friday night. It's going to be a good time. Or look, if it wasn't a good time, I wouldn't be there. Okay. It's going to be a good time. Trust me. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about stuff, politics and whatnot all over again. But we're also going to show Annie's support as a candidate in Washington District 38. I have pinned in my chat the address, the name of the Twitch account channel, I guess. I'm trying to figure it out. It's late. Forgive me. Here's all of Annie's Cash App and Act Blue stuff. She posted an article that she was featured in, a local article on my Discord today. Everyone check that out if you're on the Discord. And we'll see you Friday. Jake, what do you got going on? You want to promote anything?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm going to pop Annie's... there we go. I am also pinning Annie Fitzgerald's thing. Yeah, I'm doing speed debate. I think it's going to be useful. Also, it's something I can do late at night. It's getting better and better. It's the show where we build the show. And the goal is to understand each other when we debate. Apart from that, I'm just doing some light terrorism with a group of freedom fighters. And no, I'm kidding. No, usual. What you can do. What can you do? Get everybody signed up to vote and go vote. Go vote now if you can.
Yes, and I will be off the rest of the week except for Annie's live stream on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I will return Monday night right here at the Letter Hack at 9 p.m. Eastern with my special guest and creative collaborator, Harvey J.K. So that's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about comics, which is, I got to tell you, Jake, I have got Harvey hooked on making comics. It's like, when are we going to make more comics? Can we meet this week and make more? It's just like nonstop. And I'm like, okay, on the one hand, I might not have the bandwidth. On the other hand, I got this guy, right? Like, I got this guy. So anyway, we are going to be talking about that. And probably, state of affairs and elections and how we can make America radical again, because our forefathers were radical. And it's like I always say, and you've probably heard me say this before, I'm a child of the 80s, Jake. That makes me totally fucking radical. That's how you end. That's a mic drop without dropping the mic. Yeah.
Mike is on the floor. It's so far away.
Right, and then the next thing you want to do, the next thing you don't want to do is keep talking into the mic, because that undoes.
Yeah, it ruins the vibe. How did she know that my gut looms out from under my suit jacket? Son of a gun.
I love how you're forever the iPad guy.
Oh yeah, I might have to bring it back.
Sandy's the tomato farmer.
Is it just me, or did we get along really well with Jackson White?
Oh yeah, Jackson White. He's that guy.
Oh yeah,
he is a great guy. Everyone's gonna get along with him.
Just so chill.
Yeah. Anyway, look, man.
I'm worried that he'd be too cool, though.
Well, maybe he'll rub off on you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey, I'll see you next time.
Unrelated. I'll see you around.
See you Friday.
Yeah, all by myself. No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need 'em then, don't need 'em now.